Eons ago, during the age of the Magi, the world was something other. Magic is all that there was and all that was needed. Legend states that a cataclysmic event brought a great frozen age to the world of Lacrin, and soon after, a new era dawned. Though they say the ancient magics of the Magi still lie buried and lost, scattered around the world, lie in wait for those with the courage to wield it to discover. Welcome to the world of Lacrin and the continent of Thelmecia. Noble knights, roaming orcs, mischievous goblins, and idyllic wondrous lands, just waiting to be explored. Now, a new peril aspires to plunge Thelmecia into despair once more, but not before a few unheard-of heroes take their chance at triumph. Welcome to Tablestory, Darkfire.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tablestory's Darkfire, starring Tiger Writer's back.
Yeah.
Tiger Writer just schooled the
just his
fuck
back
out of us.
for the whole thing.
Do you see that 3 on the screen? That's his level up HP.
Yeah, he
Sure
got
is.
It was the minimum. Welcome back, Tiger. And welcome back, everyone, one and all, including John Sandman and Pumpkinberry and Whack Steven and me.
I love that little corny
Just the worst. How you doing, peeps?
Feeling good.
Tiger's
He's
desperately
doing
leveling
just
up right
fine.
now.
Thank
That's
you,
what he's doing. That's why he's got the
Yes.
concentration face on.
Yeah.
That's why.
I learned something today too. All right. I didn't know about all that spell stuff too.
Yeah, because I didn't teach either of you how to play D&D when we did Fractured
Well, I
World.
want you to know, chat. Brad thinks I'm worthless. That's what it comes down to.
He did say that.
I mean, I
Yeah. I mean, does Brad ever say anything nice?
didn't say that for the record.
You-
Just
The only
say,
time
like,
he says anything nice is if you're dying. So
Really?
you don't want to hear him.
it's true.
I don't even know if he does that.
Look, listen.
I don't know.
All
I
said
remember when
was-
somebody certain died in a certain thing.
Yeah.
I remember him specifically saying to me last week, if you died, I wouldn't care.
He did say that.
Look
Fuck's
at
sake.
Look at his face. I don't. Are you realizing this, Brad? Did you say that?
I don't know. I probably did, yeah. I
Brad's
say a lot-
consistently high on Red Bull.
I say a lot of shit that I don't mean, though. This is who I am.
I love it.
Red the Bull.
No, we were talking. They leveled up to level 4, and I said that it was my fault that they didn't learn anything in Fractured Worlds because I babied them through the level up process, and they never opened the PHB for 2 years. But
Honestly, true.
But at the start of this campaign, I was like, I'm not doing that. It's up to you to level yourselves up and learn it. Everything's written down in words in the PHB. I'll help you work it out if you want. And John and Tiger have just been sat there for the last 10 minutes like,
I'm a
what the
lost puppy,
fuck
dude."
are you and Wax saying? Leveling up from 3 to 4.
Whack and Brad talking about D&D is like the opposite of how I talk about like D&D. They're like, open to 537 in the manual, and you go here, and it's right there, and it's like, no,
Yeah,
no.
so
I'm gonna read right there. It's
They've been
line
playing-
17, page
You would tell me-
45.
You would tell me these are the 3 spells
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can take.
That's
There
it.
you go. Which one would you like? You could do fireball, you could do ice cannon, or you could fly. What do you want, little guy?
It's like a kindergartner. We gotta like.
It is.
Well, I
Like,
don't want to
never-
do it. Like,
Do
I
you
don't want
want
to
the
do it anymore.
red crayon, the
Yeah,
blue one, or the yellow one?
But like, it's
That's
in the
how I
book.
feel, dude.
It's all in the book. It's all in the book.
I know,
You
I
just
know,
gotta open
absolutely.
the book. It's really
What it comes
easy
down to,
understand.
John, is that we're illiterate. We're illiterate.
It's just like I just want to get.
Maybe if we could get
I
Brad to
wanna
understand that
chat.
we're just illiterate, maybe he
That's,
would.
that's
maybe
what I
we-
want to get. I just want to be with the chat and and do some role play.
I'm gonna roll this D20 real quick. How's this episode gonna go? Oh, you ain't talking about that.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, you guys are leveled up now. You got it. You've worked it out. Okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
You're good. You're lucky it wax here.
So what you're saying is I get 8 spells.
You get 40
I get
spells.
level 8 spells. All right, got it.
It is, I mean, the thing is, if you're playing a spellcaster, it is fucking way more difficult to understand, for sure.
Totally.
But Tiger played a wizard last time. For 2 years.
Yeah, I played a wizard. The simple as fuck. He gains a level, gets a spell. Gains a level, gets a spell.
I just
oh, hey,
expected
you're
you
a
to
priest
under-
now. You get every million spells that's ever been made of ever made, Bill, and all the spells
I expected you to understand.
Listen, you
Some of
expect
it.
too much of me.
I know. I'm so sorry.
That's what it comes down to.
I'm
all
sorry.
right?
Wait, can I just ask before we start, Tiger, what did you roll
What are
for
just
the
now?
episode? For the episode, you gotta
A
say.
6.
That's not bad. We're not gonna die. We're not all gonna
Yeah, I mean,
die.
I did it by hand this time. I wish I could roll everything by hand. No, I don't.
Why would you roll?
A 3.
A 3. Oh yeah.
Well, let's see how
Keep
well
it
I
on
do.
the screen.
I mean, the thing is, I could roll lower than a 3. So let me see how
Let's see what you got.
my
What you got?
things will do.
Come on.
Dude, I shit
you
you
got?
not. Oh man, I can't move my camera. It's a 2. Hang on.
Oh!
2.
Let's start right now.
That shit's good.
You're just barely gonna make it through.
Just barely will I do.
Get popcorn. Get popcorn.
This is one of those
I thought you said hip
episodes.
hop corn.
Get popcorn.
This is
Because it's like 19's thing. I'm gonna.
This is one of those episodes where I don't want to do the thing where I fuck around and go, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be awful if you died this episode? Because it's pretty dangerous. I mean,
There's a possibility I can die. Yeah, absolutely.
19 is preparing to potentially go and have a duel at dawn.
Go to war with like one of the biggest gangs in the town.
Yeah, no, that should be fine.
I love this. I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So let me catch you guys up on what happened last time.
Yes.
Because LT Gray wasn't here, and neither was 19. Pretty much at the beginning of the episode, 19. Drift just finished the tournament. He won the tournament, and they were ushered back into the waiting room. Rin and Iridir joined Drift. 19 was about to, and as he was about to step into the door, he was distracted by something and wandered off, and that was the last we saw of him. The other 3 spent some time in the waiting room together, a little bemused and confused about what was going on, but they did get a bag of, I think in total, how much did you earn? 3 grand?
3K.
Yeah.
And I have it all right now.
In total, you guys have a bag with 3,000 gold in it, which is amazing, and again, the most I've ever given out in D&D.
Yeah, but you never expected somebody to win that shit. Oh my god.
No, I didn't really. No.
That still blows my fucking mind. Huh?
There's no way you did. I remember like when I got through the first one after that episode, we got off and you were just like, I'm actually surprised you won that. Like, it's just gonna get harder. And I'm like, oh, I'm done then.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. A lot of it went not the way I expected, but that's just D&D. I'm very used to that as a DM.
Yeah.
And also, these kinds of things are really fun for me to run because, like the tournament, because I've never really run a 1v1 like tournament scenario thing. So it was really hard to balance, obviously. And so I was like, I don't think he's got any chance whatsoever. And you kind of blitzed it, to be honest.
Totally.
I think it was a little touch and go a couple of points, but I was like, okay, I have no fucking idea how to balance combat.
I mean, there
so
was
there you go.
easily a couple moments that if they would have gotten a hit, I would have lost. Like if they would have landed a hit, I would have lost.
It's just really weird to try and balance a 1v1. I honestly, and you should probably all take this with a grain of salt, is that I'm really not balancing these combats that well in this campaign. I've just been throwing shit in relatively randomly. So
the direwolves. Was it
the
the
direwolves and shit, like
episode?
I've put a lot more leeway on either side of like how these combats are for the most part in general.
That's the way D&D should be, though. You shouldn't balance it purely exactly right for the level. You know?
No, and I
agree.
have done pretty much forever because I'm always running a Final Fantasy. So it's just like you've just been leveling up with the world, you know, but like really That's
I think it's more fun like this, personally. Like knowing you never know what you're going against, how big or how strong or how
Yeah,
it's
that's.
fun.
I mean, that's why I've been doing it. Again, I play this for myself too. I'm playing the game as well, and I've been DMing for
It's
a
like
few
leaving
years.
the starting zone of like a MMORPG. It's like,
Right, yeah.
oh, you
But
gotta
I
watch.
mean,
Like,
popcorn did you just make?
she made a shit. How did you do
made
that?
like one of
that
those
fast?
bags that they fill up at this.
Oh my god.
It's really cool, actually. It's got like it's got lines on the inside. You just fill up the popcorn and then you pop it in for a minute, and it's delicious. It's perfect popcorn every time. It's great.
What the heck?
Yeah, I'll send you a
You
link.
microwave it in a plastic.
Canadian technology.
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 So yeah, so new DMs out there and old DMs alike, even because I've DM'd quite a lot over the last, I think, 4 years, 5 years maybe, is when I started DMing and playing, and I still don't know how to balance a combat. So just don't ever expect to be able to do it, I don't think. I mean, you probably can really specifically balance it, but I am not going to do that, and I don't want to do that because that's again.
So this is going to be a great episode.
This every D&D campaign for me is like my new thing, and I try and do different shit. And with this one, I've just been kind of throwing some shit around, and a lot of it is like being pretty fast and loose with like how dangerous shit is. But we'll see. Anyway, what happened last time? The crew essentially had a meeting with the king. They were looking around for 19, but he wasn't there, and they were taken away from the Colosseum and led into the main city where the palace is. They were taken into this ridiculous regal architectural wonder of the Palace of Rosegard, and they had a meeting with the king. It didn't go too well at first because the king looked kind of bored. He looks like he sits there all day, every day, listening to people and just doesn't really give two fucks about most things that's going on. He alluded to the fact that he wanted to explore and never really got the chance to, and he just sits on this throne all day. So the meeting ended up being between you and Inquisitor Sath, who showed up, the orc that was looking into the murder of Fort Smasher, and some of the other mysterious goings on around town. He kind of decided as well that Drift was a murderer, because Drift obviously killed Walter the Red, and Inquisitor Sath and the wizards were pretty convinced as well, and he said that he was going to put you in jail, and you would be freed to take part in the next tournament to keep up appearances, but you were going to
lose. Yeah, lose in the next tournament.
The king was like, what the fuck, dude? We just got a fucking pigeon that just, with a message that said this guy is a fucking hero and saved and helped save a regiment of our fucking army, the at Drit in the cave with the ghost, and he was like, no, fuck you, because he has a soft spot for adventuring and adventurers and stuff, and he sent Inquisitor Sath out, although Inquisitor Sath still seems to have some suspicions around whether it's 19 because of the evidence suggesting that somebody was in heavy armor in the fight with Fort Smasher and his people. It looked like there was heavy armor, and that's why they kind of think it might be this Warforged 19. So he left kind of begrudgingly, and you guys were then you were promised that you would potentially have a home. He could sort you out with a house, though they didn't say how long it would.
Getting us home.
They didn't say how long it would
No.
do, and they also said that they might be able to find you some horses to travel by, though it's not ideal for 19 to travel by horse because Warforged can't travel on horses, they're too heavy.
We did ask for a
We did
mountain.
ask for a
why-
carriage.
Which is why they fly on wyverns. They asked for a wyvern and they just said
I tried,
no.
19. I'm just gonna say I tried. I tried to get you a wyvern. It's only
Why
for
did
their,
they say no? Fucking asshole.
only for their military.
Only for
I'm
the
just gonna
military.
give you
I was a part of the military.
You're not part of the military anymore.
I
and-
was though.
Dude, that's like that's
You know how veterans get treated, okay? That's
Yeah, I get it. Don't worry, Whack.
Truly.
dude.
Hey, veterans in the chat right
That's
now.
that's like being an amnesiac soldier who just goes back to the fucking the commander in general and is like, hey, can I just take a tank? I'll take a tank. Why not? Be like, yeah,
Are
sure,
you
just take the
declaring that
Abrams, bro.
wyverns and tanks are
Here's the
same
fucking
thing?
keys, bro.
Kinda.
Yeah,
Those are
they
nuts.
are.
What, can a wyvern spit a bullet out of its thing and blow up
A
a whole building?
wyvern is basically a dragon that doesn't spit fire. They're not going to give you. It's just the only barely. They're
like
not
giving a
really-
jet.
Or like a
Honestly,
a
it's like-
Like the
helicopter.
only difference
Yeah.
really is they don't spit fire and they don't have arms. I think that's the only difference between a wyvern and a dragon.
I thought wyverns have little arms. Or dragons?
No,
don't
I think they
have
just have legs, and that's it, and the wings are their arms. I think.
like Rex arms.
I think
Yeah,
that's what the
I think
difference.
They have Rex arms.
I'm sure that the
Have
difference
they
between a
mentioned that?
wyvern and a dragon is that a dragon
Let me
has
see.
4 arms or legs or whatever. There you go.
Brad is correct.
Bam. Coming at you. Also, it's my world, and wyverns can be what the fuck I want. They got 46 legs now. Hey, I like dragons. Yeah, then your meeting was finished. You left the thing. You went to the Ironwell Inn again. You kind of had a few drinks. Rin scurried off upstairs and locked herself into a room and read a load of books, and it was just pure lore. Lore. Some of it kind of like fiction-based shit that you're supposed to just kind of be like ambiguous. I'm not sure if that's true. Some of it seemed relatively true, and it gave you an idea. There were 2 books that were left unread, and Iridir told a story to the people. Earned his coin. I think you got a few coins, but it was enough paled in comparison to the 3 grand. He got drunk. He got really pissed off with Rin because she'd locked the door. He went downstairs, told even more stories about how much of a piece of shit Rin is, and everyone believed him, and then he fell asleep at the bar. Drift was met by Muriel. She said, come and meet me at midnight, but then he got drunk and didn't make it to the meeting. And that's where we left
Which
them.
is so bad because she saved me. She legitimately saved me.
And that's
And
where
I can't even meet her for a meeting. I just get wasted.
we left them.
What an idiot. I'm so dumb.
Let's begin. Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Hey, my heartburn says let's go.
Great.
I fucking for real have heartburn. I'm really aggravated about it.
Let's
Santec.
let's rewind. We're going back in time, Marty.
This show is sponsored by Tums.
Back in time. This show is brought to you by Tums for heartburn.
I wish.
It's gonna have to be some serious
It
acting
isn't
because
actually for those listening.
19 can't get heartburn. He doesn't have a heart.
I'd die. I would die.
He would die.
You think about it?
So, 19. We joined you, my child.
No.
Once again, Brap and Blap. We're going back in time. Why doesn't this work? Hello? Back in time to when the fight with Owen of the Snow had been completed. Drift had met with the king, and you were ushered back into the area where Drift was staying. And you guys were about to congratulate Drift on his victory. Well, you 19. The rest of them did. You were about to go back into this back room with Drift and the others and congratulate him when a large figure catches your eye leaving the tournament grounds. It's another Warforged. As his eyes kind of scan around, he doesn't see you, you see him. You notice that he's got these eyes and they're white, lit up, kindled. He continues to sport that sort of red of Roseguard that like the unkindled have, the red paint. But he wears clothing, kind of. He's got a leather sash around his waist and then furs that go over his shoulders, kind of like big bearskin pauldrons that meet at the back. And then he's got all these feathers that are laid in various places across his body. Drift isn't going anywhere at this moment, but this is your first time seeing another Kindled Warforged since returning to Roseguard. So essentially, I had you chase after him. With all the crowds leaving, it takes a little while to relocate this Warforged. You've got a lot of people leaving this Coliseum. Think of like the end of a baseball game or something with all these people fucking flooding out and you're kind of behind and you see him leave and then you're like, oh, I'll go after him. You go out into the festival field and everybody's starting to buy things, looking around. You spend a little while looking for this guy and you see him again in the distance towards the bridge. He looks as if he's leaving the festival grounds and you make your way across again, moving in and out of people, past all of these tents, people, various things trying to sell you wares and things like that, but you're kind of pushing through people when you see this Warforged again. He's a little easier to make out with his size being almost exactly the same as yours, barring any modifications you've had and he's had, which for him isn't very many by the looks of it. Yeah, you see him heading towards the bridge when he suddenly stops and he greets a halfling. And from this distance, you can see that they're kind of friendly, but can't really make anything out. They start heading over the bridge. You're swept along with the crowd, and you're led back into Rosegard City as well, with this bustle of traders and soldiers and civilians that are returning back to the streets that were empty this morning. You're kind of heading along with them, and back into the city you go with this Warforged in sight, then out of sight, then in sight, then out of sight, then inside, and you're kind of tracking this guy. I kind of rolled a few things for you to have you track him along, and you pretty much found him every time. So you track this dude back into the city, heading along with this little halfling guy with red hair. You barely make out that they duck into an alleyway about 30 feet ahead of you. You would be in the city somewhere in here, just right in the middle of it, right in the middle of the hustle and bustle of the northeastern side of the city, which is pretty much just houses up here. You're just moving through these little streets. There's people and families all heading back to their homes after the tournament. A couple of shops, couple of pubs and things like that. But it's just a mishmash of homes of various shapes and sizes for the most part. None of them particularly rich looking. All little twisty turning roads, like kind of like old school London looking thing. Yeah, you see them they're just casually walking ahead of you. You see them, you catch them, they head down an alleyway. And that is where we pick up with you. What do you want to do?
So if I walk into the alleyway with them, if I just kind of notice them and I'm just kind of around the corner.
You're just around the corner. I didn't want to make any decisions or anything for you beyond being able to track them.
I'm going to walk in and just pretty much walk. Pretty much right up to them.
Yeah, you catch up the 30 feet or so. You head down that slightly smaller alleyway. It's relatively darkened. It smells a little like piss. Almost instantly, you step into the alleyway, and
I can't smell, so.
Oh, you can't? Okay, well, a sword at the end of a polearm is immediately lowered to your chest. There's a set of white eyes about 10 feet ahead of you holding onto a glaive. And then a little voice behind you speaks up. You hear the creak of a bowstring pulled, and a voice sort of from down below you says, "Why are you tracking us there, big lad? Not so easy for your kind to hide, you know."
I have no reason to hide at all. If you want the truth, I saw something I haven't seen in a long time. At least not for a while. May I turn around to you?
Slowly.
May I turn around slowly?
Yeah, you see this little halfling. He's got a short bow pulled with an arrow knocked, and he's looking up at you. The thing is just like, it's like an inch away from your side or back. He's got a flash of red hair. He's wearing kind of okay looking leathers. He looks like he's probably a ranger of some sort. He's got very muddied boots. He's got greens and browns that cover his body, and then these kind of long leather armor straps that run along various parts of him seem to be covering all of his vital parts. Set of gloves and this relatively nice looking bow pointed up to you. He's got one eye closed as he's kind of aiming this thing up to you, but he's holding the string pretty strong.
I was tracking you because I saw a fellow Warforged. Kindle, it looked like. Not one of the army. I have not seen one of them, well, almost since I've been kindled. And to be honest with you, I took interest in that, which is why I was following you. I mean you no harm, nor do I mean this person with the glaive at my back any harm. I come friendly, even if I don't know you, even if you could rob me. I'm mainly here to speak with the Warforged, if I may, and if not, I can be on my way.
Give me a persuasion check.
Come on.
19.
19. First roll of the year. for Tiger.
Let's go. First action roll.
Is a 19, of course. There's a shift behind you, a grinding of metallic plates that you recognize similarly to your own. You hear a voice boom from behind you and says, "Leave him be, Genfire. He's one of mine." The little halfling puts his arrow in his quiver and says, "Yeah, we're not thieves, you know. Just wanted to know why you're following us." And he scurries around you very quickly and then goes and stands kind of slightly behind the large warforged in front of you, who says, "How long have you been kindled?"
At this point, somewhere around between 40 and 70 days.
A baby then.
And yourself?
10 years or so. I was one of the first.
One of the first. I have many questions for a person like you.
As I suppose you do. He reaches out a very large hand and kind of opens it, sticking the glaive onto his back. "My name is Heavy."
I am 19, and I reach out, and it's not like a regular, it's like a, like the earth just shook because it's too warm.
Down this alleyway. He grips your arm, tests your strength. You can feel that there's like a decent amount of strength in him. He doesn't seem like...
He's testing my strength. I'd like to roll.
Okay.
How hard I am.
All right. Give me an athletics check if we're doing this. You son of a bitch. He rolls a 16 without his modifier. Let's just say he wins. Yeah, you can feel an immense amount of power.
Pretty strong. Yeah.
Wow.
You guys are, Warforged have an element of magic to them, which bolsters some elements of them. Some of them are a little more intelligent or a little attuned to magic in some ways, druidic magic, something like that. Some are magically bolstered with strength. It's not really a physical thing. You all look exactly the same without any changes. So that, including some sort of a twist of the wrist, and a way that he stands, maybe you can tell that he if he wanted to, he would take the upper hand in some sort of strength based contest here, and he lets you go and turns around and says, "Come, we have a place." And they begin to walk out of the alleyway.
Every time I say "I," everybody gets to yell at me in chat.
Too many pirate games.
Too many pirate games. Hey,
you can role playing.
You're only a month old. You can have picked that up while you've been in Roseguard.
I ain't giving it to him.
So the little halfling takes the lead and heads out of the other end of the alleyway and does a quick right, and the Warforged kind of follows him. Every now and then he turns around and glances to check that you're with him, but they move quickly together. You can see that they're a little shifty. They're kind of checking everybody. They're watching people, and you see them look up and down every alleyway. They check up on the roofs and they check down darkened alleyways, and they move for a few minutes down southwards, further into kind of this area where there's all these houses, and then you're led to a little pub, which is known as the Gilded Dog. And just for the sake of it, I'll write it there. I'll mark it on the map. And it's a tiny little pub, just a little like a local, basically, with just a small door that you and Heavy will have to duck down under. Most of the light that filters in comes from the open doorway. There are two small windows that don't do a lot, and there are some small candles in the back, but it's very dimly lit in here. There's a little unlit hearth beside a very small and old-looking bar. There's a lot of old-looking rundown tables with small rundown stools that look like they probably won't take your weight, but Heavy finds one, sits on it, and it holds him. You see a graying sort of human standing behind the bar cleaning a tankard. He nods at Heavy and the halfling as they walk in, and The two sit down. There's a couple of people here, like a couple of patrons, just a couple of old men that are just sat by themselves. Other than that, it seems like you have the place to yourself. The halfling says, "Right, well, I suppose you two don't drink, so I'll get 3 for me." And he stands up and heads on over to the bar and sits at the bar and holds up 3 fingers and begins to have a conversation with the man there, seemingly leaving you and Heavy alone for a moment. Heavy says, "Have you been in the city the entire time?"
No. I was staying with a man named John who runs the farm to the south. I stayed with him for a while, and then I was sent out for a bit and ran into 3 eager folk I've been with since then. We've seen some shit since then, I'll be honest with you. Much more than I thought I would have seen in the short period of time that I've been really here, I think is the best way to put it.
The large form kind of nods a few times and he looks you up and down and says, "Already you have changed. Did they do this to you or you did it yourself?"
I think a lot of it was myself, but if my demeanor at the moment seems rough, it's because I have a lot of... I think that my friends had expressed it as quite a bit of anger at the moment. I just dealt with a pretty severe situation maybe an hour or 2 ago before meeting with you.
He nods and says, "We often find ourselves in trouble. I did, as did many of the others that have been kindled. Often we find these groups. I have my own. You have yours, yes? You are still with them?"
They are my friends at this point, yes.
"That is good. Friends are important. We must learn fast, quicker than most. They will overestimate you, but they won't realize you are but a child. You understand this, yes?"
I have come to understand that. There is one with me by the name of Rin. I think she appears that I'm stupid, which I can see why. I don't know everything. I've made good choices.
Darkfire, and he nods to the little halfling that's at the thing. He says, "He is a good friend to me. He found me wandering north of here, maybe a month, 2 months after I was kindled. I ran, fleeing in fear, confusion. I was weary, attacked by creatures, and ready to die. When he found me, and he has been a good friend to me. He did not judge me, though he too overestimated me, thinking me wiser than my years. Our size betrays us. Now, though, I would say that I have 3 strong friends, and I would guard them with my life."
Good. This is good to hear. You said you've been... May I back up for 1 minute? You said you've been kindled for 10 years. Is that correct?
10 years. 3 years after
So
the
you're
war.
quite smart, you feel. You've been around a while. You've learned a lot, I assume.
Smart is not really what I would describe myself as. Perhaps a little more knowledgeable than some of our kind, yes. But, really, my skills lie in strength and fighting. Not much else.
Well... if only we knew each other better.
There is still time. Have you met many of our kind?
Come again with that?
Have you met many other Warforged? Either
You are
here
the
or out
first.
there?
Of a kindled. I've only ever seen one other, and they moved very quick. Blink of an eye, they were gone.
Then you have never heard of home.
Of what?
There is a village. He turns left and right, kind of eyes up the old men in the bar, doesn't really check too much. There is a village south of here, on an island known as Velgaro. Many of our kind have settled there. It would be good for you to go there, visit.
How far?
You give me a history check.
Carda.
Oh, is that what it is?
What are you saying?
No, it's not.
Oh. I was like, Velka.
Velgaro.
Sounded like Encarta to me.
Oh no, Velgaro. It's down here.
Well, that's a blast from the past.
I know, right?
Encarta, yeah, that was the. Velgaro is a little island. For the record, the rest of you would for sure know it. Even on a 9, you're aware of it. You don't know anything about it, but you know where it
Where
is.
is it on the map? Can you ping it again on the map?
I'll ping you all down there. It is down here. Velgaro, it's south of Rosegard, not too far south. Here's where Rosegard is. A few days travel to Sandfoot, where you can take a boat to Velgaro. There's really not much there. It's pretty much a desert area. It's got a couple of places on it. Iguta, which is a port, very, very well known the world over for being a very pirate-based place. Imagine a
wonderful cheese as well.
very good cheese, and it's very Nassau-like, kind of classic pirates and run by like a corrupt government or like a corrupt mayor kind of thing. There's a little village known as Quain, which is just local people, just people that have been brought up on Velgaro. There's really not much influence. It's not really part of Rosegard, but a lot of people treat it as such, or Thelmecia. It's just its own little city-state kind of separate.
Close to me.
During the war, though, there was a lot of fighting there because a lot of the Alexandrians tried to stay there and make a hold there, and they did. And as such, a lot of people kind of dislike Velgaro because it became a pretty decent stronghold for the Alexandrians, and they would constantly raid this southern coast. So in general, you know where it is. This is Iguta, this is Quain, and it's a few days travel and then another couple of days travel by boat to get to Iguta. You generally go around into Iguta, so it'll take you like a week to get there or so in total.
Okay.
So he explains that in general to you.
You're speaking about the island south of here, correct?
He nods his considerable steel head and says, yes, there is a village known as Quain on this island. Just a little south of there is a place that we call home.
I never knew about this. I never thought this would be a thing either. How many are there?
Truthfully, it is a secret. We do not tell the others. We do not know precisely what their plans for us, whether they can use us again for combat should another war come. There are around 300 warforged that live there, living a comfortable, calm life. Most take to crafting, art, growing plants, tending to pets, building structures in a pyramid shape. They need no food, no water. They are not desperate to leave, though some enjoy trading with the pirates.
19 starts making that clicking noise, like, and I want the cat to come up and jump onto my shoulder after he says something about animals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Animals, you say? And I reach up and softly and gently pat its head. I've recently accompanied this little guy. And I think she picks it up. Is it a he or she, Brad?
She.
Never looked until now.
She
Puts it back down. She, I think, may have potentially, I wouldn't say saved my life, but definitely helped me. I never understood how much an animal could be of a help. May I ask you a question?
Of course.
You said you're strong. How do you feel about the bond between us as Warforged? Where does that sit with you?
We are as close to family as we will ever find. Our bond can be strengthened with friendship, or broken with distrust. But for now, you are as close
His
to my
eyes
brother
go
as I
real
can.
small as you say distrust. Like they shrink.
Yeah.
I've just learned about this word you speak of. Not long ago, as you can see, and he hits himself, hits his chest. I had a set of dwarves in town. I thought I could trust them. I attempted to have them suit me with this new armor you see me wearing. He kind of brings his wrist up, that thing on his wrist. As he brings it up on his wrist, he grabs his thigh where the sword would pop out. Just in case. For some reason, they wanted this. They put all of this armor on me. I came back a day later. They fixed my leg because they couldn't. The long story of it is they messed one of them up. And when I woke up, I was having a very genuine conversation with the man, or the dwarf. As I was speaking with him, he asked me to join him and his crew. I politely said that I'd be interested, but I first have things I need to take care of. He shows his wrist again. As I said that, he and his entire crew decided that I was no good to them. They turned on me, and all of them attacked me, including him. I fought my way out. My friend Rin showed up, and she fell during the battle. I charged my way through all four of them, stabbed one of them in the gut, and threw them at him, and I challenged him to a fight. Is there anywhere where sun would come in?
The door is open. It's about the only place where there's sunlight.
At dawn tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, I get to find out just how much of a cheap shit he is. I've never been... He kind of searches for a word. I've never been betrayed before. And it also hurt.
That it does. I've known my fair share in time. You challenged him at dawn.
Aye.
The sun is beginning to set. It's the end of the day. He looks up at the waning light in the doorway, looks back and says, "You challenged him to a duel. This untrustworthy one."
You might know him by his name. He runs the... What was that place that they ran again? What do you call that place?
The Blood Grip Armory.
He runs the Blood Grip Armory. Goes by the name of Telcho. Are you familiar with him?
Let's find out. I am not familiar with Rosegard too much. I travel here sometimes, but for the most part we are based in Sandfoot.
I worry. I challenged him, and only him, to a duel after he tried to kill me. But him and his entire crew, as my friend Rin would have said, were very shiesty, I think was the word for it. I have this feeling that no matter what I do, I'm going to end up fighting him and all of his friends tomorrow, and not just him. I'll potentially have my friends there with me. I'm sure they'll be there, but if they decide to fight, it's on them. I hope that he decides to, as much as he's untrustworthy, I hope he decides to fight me one-on-one so I can kill him in front of all of his friends and prove to them that I'm not someone they should be messing with. And not only that, I'm very certain that they've caused harm to someone now. And I wasn't certain of that until they traded on me, until they stabbed me in the back. But I'm very certain that they killed innocent people.
The halfling sits next to you on a stool and says, "Well, for the right price," puts his feet up on the table, takes a swig. "I am sure we'd be happy to help, wouldn't we, Heavy?" Is that what you are asking? You wish to hire us?
That was not what I was saying, but what is your price?
Well, you're talking about fighting an entire gang or just this one lad? What do you need? You need just bodyguards, right? We could do some bodyguarding. We get the kids involved. They wouldn't know they were there. We got 2 others.
How many of you are there?
4.
4?
2 little kids, can't see them. They hiding. They're always hiding. They're probably in here.
I looked up at the Warforged. You spoke earlier about friendship and how important it was. I don't have much gold, but I can offer a lot more than gold. And I also want to be honest. If something happens to me tomorrow, he decides to not fight fair, my friends, they're going to most likely be very upset and put themselves in harm's way. The only thing I really want, and what I had planned after I had challenged him, was enough people to be there to put all of the other dwarves in their place. That way, if they show up and Telchol decides not to fight me one-on-one, I want to make it so they go, we can't. He must fight him one-on-one, because we cannot fight all these people. So you being there, with me barely knowing you, would be a wonderful thing. I haven't much gold, but if you're willing, he looks up at the Warforged, eyes go real big. If you're willing to take the time to trust a fellow, as you would say, close to family as we have, I'd be grateful if you could at least make an appearance. I can give you some gold that I have, because I know that one's going to want it. Because if I've learned anything by being with people that aren't us, they're very interested in gold.
The halfling just... That's why we're here, though. That's the only reason we're here, is for gold. But the Warforged nods his head and says, as close to a brother as you can be. But...
I understand.
Is your pride worth your life?
Is my pride worth my life? Is that what you said? Can you explain what you mean by that?
Well, if you wish to fight this man and he turns on you, kills you outright, without the backup of your friends or us, will it be worth it? Should you fall?
I won't fall. Falling if I fight him, it will not happen. The only way it would happen is if I fought it alone. If I have my friends by my side, including a man that just won the tournament, named Drift the Cursebreaker, I have full confidence that we could take them all. But that's not how I want it. It has nothing to do with wanting to kill all of them. I only want to kill one of them. And it's not about pride. It's about being betrayed. And it's about somebody having done something like that to multiple people and it being obvious at this point in time. I want you to understand something, fellow Warforged. I've never been betrayed until this very moment. And I've never felt such an anger. Ever. I'm sure you've had that feeling before. Do you remember the first time?
Indeed. I have been angry many times, and you must learn to temper it. This will likely not be the last time. Should you survive your combat, that you will be betrayed, angry, you will slowly bloom with many emotions. And you will learn what each of those emotions can lead to, should you not temper them, should you follow them blindly. He stands up and bonks you on the head with the bottom of his big gauntleted hand, and it's pretty heavy. Dong! I will be there. Dawn? Where?
John's farm in the south.
I will stand. I will look intimidating. Should any of these men that are not the one that you described to be their leader try anything, I will help. The others, I think you will need to give them some gold. That's right. You give me some gold, I'll do almost anything. Almost.
What can you do outside of point a bow at my back?
I can point it at your face.
And then what? Bounce it off?
Trust me, like, me and him, we've gone toe-to-toe a few times. I've taken him every single time.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have. Every single time. Never, ever beaten me.
With a bow, but not with a glaive.
Well, not with the glaive. I'm talking about with the bow. He's asking about the bow. I know exactly how to take one of your kind down. Don't try me.
May I ask you a question? Warforged and halfling?
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you to be there.
Well, go.
Use a glaive, I see. I haven't seen one of those since the war.
I prefer to be away from my foes. This allows me to stand at a distance from creatures that are large. This one takes jobs out in the wilds way too much for my liking.
I still have these, and he hits his thighs. I still have both the sword and the shield. I also carry a greatsword most of the time, but my greatsword currently is sitting inside of Telchel's shop. I had to escape without it. He's lucky I don't have it. The fight would be...
You want that? You want that back? You want that back? We can get you that back at the right price. Tell me where it is.
Can you get it by dawn?
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to do an insight check on that.
Give me the insight check.
God, he's so stupid. Oh, I got my insights way higher now.
Yeah, you get...
15?
He's not sure. He seems confident, but he definitely doesn't know. He's just saying yes to try and gain a client.
Well, what about this? I don't worry about the greatsword.
All right.
I can defeat him without it. Just not as fast.
Okay.
With that being said, do you think you can get your hands on a greatsword? Not mine, just a greatsword.
You want a great sword? You could just go, if you're quick, you can pop out and get one right now. They sell them all up and down the strip.
I have 25 gold. That is all I have on, well, actually,
Hold on, I'm a lying sack of shit.
I have 64 gold. And that's all I have.
64 gold? Let me look at it, because he would know roughly. Yeah, you could probably get a nice thing. Maybe second hand, something nice. I don't know. How much do great swords cost?
I don't know. I don't do any of the purchasing. The children would know. Where are they?
I don't know where they are. They're probably here. Like I said, you never know.
Either way,
What?
I will... How much do you want to be there with Heavy tomorrow and your two children?
If it's bodyguarding you want, the usual going rate is 30 gold a head. That's me, that's Heavy, that's Yalfi, and Bamanos. That's 4. So that's 120 gold.
Well, I can't give you 30 gold a head because I don't have it. But I would be willing to give you 30 gold as a whole. To be there.
All right.
To just stand there.
That'll buy you Heavy. Well done.
He does not need to pay for me. I will go of my own volition.
Okay. That'll buy you... We can send Bamanos. We'll send Bamanos, right?
Who's that?
Well, I just don't want to go if we're all gonna get... You said they're gonna turn on you, no? They're gonna fucking...
Did you not say that Heavy,
It's a
that
trap. It's a
these
trap,
are your
right?
close friends?
You're
Is that
telling
right?
me, is it a trap or is it not a trap? Like,
We
if
do
you
not
had
know
to
if it's
guess
a trap.
At
But
percentage.
by the way they rule and by the way they show themselves, it could be.
Yeah, it's a trap. It's a fucking trap. Come on now, that's a trap. That you've just described.
Well, if it's a trap, do you really want your friend Heavy to go alone?
Heavy does what Heavy wants. Look at the fucking size of him. I'm not going to tell him what he can and can't do. But if it's a trap and I can send one of the other boys, I'm sending one of the other boys. I'm not sending Yalfi. She's an idiot.
Heavy, I thank you for being willing to be there tomorrow. I don't have much gold. I have 30 I'm willing to spare for you and whoever wants to come with you. If all of your friends want to come with you because of the spectacle of watching me cut a man's head off, I'd love to have you there. If you happen to find yourself a great sword, I would gladly make sure I can repay you for it. I know that soon I need to get to my friends, but Heavy. And what was your name, by the way?
Darkfire. Darkfire, leader of the Wild Wanderer Adventuring Group, at your service.
I reach my hand out and I'm gonna squeeze like I would have squeezed Heavy's hand.
Yeah, I mean, you give me an athletics check.
Oh my god. Don't hurt him.
I'll never use a bow again.
He is expecting this. I don't think he's not rolling an athletics check. He's rolling an acrobatics check or a sleight of hand to get his hand out of yours before you crush it. And you begin to crush and he goes, you do what he does. The Warforged sort of settles back down. He's been stood up this whole time. He sits back into his seat and says, "We will all be there. We will all be there. We will all be there. We will back you up, and it will cost you 30 gold pieces."
I also want you to know that after this is said and done, I would like it if we could talk again. And I would also like it, because something tells me, Darkfire, that you and a certain friend of mine named Eero would get along very well.
Oh, yeah, really?
Too well, actually.
Okay. Well, I think that myself and Heavy here need to discuss something because we're going outside of the business contracts that we have arranged. I'm not too sure if we're going to be there in the morning. Of course, he's agreed to something that he can't agree to on behalf of the Wild Wanderer Adventuring Group, but we'll discuss this for 30 gold pieces. We're going to wander straight into a fucking trap.
We will be there, 19. And in 3 days we leave for Sandfoot. And if you wish, I will take you to home.
This is something I would need to discuss with the people I'm with. But we have a lot to do. I will discuss it with them because if I have an option, I will go with you. I think it's smart, and I think it's important for me. But I also need to make sure that the people that I'm with, what am I saying? People like Eero and Drift are going to be excited to go to a village where there's nothing but me and you, people like us. Drift would just get excited because he's a child. And
I'm afraid they are not welcome.
Because he'd make songs about it for the rest of his life.
They are not welcome.
Oh.
You must understand, I am not in charge of home. The eldest of us, the first kindled, does not allow anyone but Warforged to know where home is.
Well, this is a discussion we can continue to have, whether I live or die tomorrow.
Other business, you may attend to it, and we can travel to home in the future. Perhaps.
Yes. What my plan is for the rest of the night is to meet back where me and my friends are staying. Then I'll be leaving them unless they decide to come with me to go to John's farm tonight, because I must pre-warn him to what's going on. He must know. I stand up, hulking over the halfling, and I turn and look at the halfling, and I look back at Heavy, and I extend like a straight up, not a handshake, but fucking arm grab.
Yeah.
And I just straight go for Heavy. Your help tomorrow would not only be nice, but also developing, looks at the halfling, a friendship that I hope maybe we can continue. There aren't many people I've seen ever like me, or things, that I feel like understand me. This has been a very confusing 40 to 70 days. I've never felt so many, I think they call them emotions. It's a lot, and it's very overwhelming. I only have one emotion right now, though, and that's to kill someone that betrayed me, and also tried to kill my friend. I must be on my way. I thank you, both.
We will see you there at John's farm at dawn.
Done. It is. Goodbye, Darkfire.
All right, bye. I'll see. I hope you do well tomorrow, and I might see you.
I hope to see you.
Yeah.
I turn around and I walk out.
Yeah, you hear Jamfire begin speaking immediately. He talks a lot, doesn't he? Like, I'm glad I found you and not him. And then, you, like, heading out. Give me a perception check as you leave.
You look at Roll20 sheet forever, and I still have to like go down the list until I hit perception. Every time, crit 1, 7.
Big oof. Okay.
You'll never know what you would have perceived.
It's okay.
We cut to the other group. They're in the Ironwell Inn. Rin is at the in the bedroom, and Iridir is banging on the door, and Rin is saying, "Hey, I'm not coming out," and Iridir is saying, "Fuck you," and then we cut to downstairs, and little Drift is dancing on a table, and everyone's saying, "Curse breaker, curse breaker," and then we cut back. Sorry, other players. Tiger wasn't here last week,
it's okay.
and we're still in the
No.
past.
Drift seems like a slam dancer to me.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
he's
he's
like
doing.
a mosh pit.
He's
He's doing the windmill.
I
Doing
imagine
mine.
like river dancing on the
The
table.
lawn. You're doing the lawnmower, the one where you throwing elbows
Crowd
back.
surfing with like
Yeah.
3 people. Like I just keep getting on the table and I'm like, let's go!
Catch me,
Something.
catch me, catch me.
So 19, where do you want to go now?
I think that the best place for me to go, because the sun is setting and starting to get dark, is that I need to huff my way to where I would assume the rest of the group would be, which
Okay.
would be, I would assume, the hotel or the inn.
That's
The
right.
hotel.
The Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn. To
you
the
start-
Holiday Inn. I go.
So, yeah, you head back. You know the way generally. You just follow all these main roads. It takes you a little way. You pass through the city, the Rose Guard Temple, Lathander Temple. Again, the whole place is filling up again with more people as they head back over from the Colosseum. The general atmosphere is pretty crazy. Like most people are talking about Drift the Cursebreaker winning the thing. This guy's come out of nowhere. Like, did he kill him? I thought I saw him kill someone. No, he didn't kill someone. Come on, it's crazy. Those wizards wouldn't let him do that. Yeah, you're right. They wouldn't let him do that. He didn't murder someone in front of the whole city. Why would he do that? That's crazy. As you get to the area where the city changes from being kind of peasant town into Hollywood Hills, and all the houses grow a little larger, and the shops have a nice air to them. The people seem to be wearing a little nicer clothing. You notice that your purse, the area where you keep your 65 gold, is gone.
I assumed.
Do you do anything?
I pay 0 mind to it. I don't give a fuck. that
Okay.
It's gone. He doesn't care that it's gone in the slightest. The only thing I want to do is look around to see if there's anything else missing. Which realistically, the purse is the only thing that would be. Only thing it would have is my money. For the most
Yeah,
part.
you don't really have much. Yeah, you carry on. You make it to the Ironwell Inn. It's pretty late. It's pushing maybe 10 at night as you're moving through the very slow traffic of Roseguard, when you hear a woof, a bark.
Cat's on my shoulder still. I want to say that.
Cat is on your shoulder. Cat jumps into your armor.
Oh,
What is that?
And there's a
You
dog
alright?
behind you, a mastiff with very long brown hair, just looking up at you. Oh, 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 oh.
What do you want, little? I want to attempt to pet it.
Give me an animal handling check.
Like when
please don't kill it.
Superman.
Oh, that's your perception from last time. Oh,
like when Superman goes to an alien planet and tries to like interact with an animal. It's just like, oh, good boy.
You reach down towards the dog. It doesn't bite you or anything, but it hunkers down and.
I pull my hand back a little bit.
What's wrong?
Just keeps barking.
What
at
is
you.
it?
Keeps barking at
Get
you.
me in the well. He is. Fuck. Well, I got other things to do, though.
Can I do a perception check, please?
Yes. Give me a perception check.
Can I also... Never mind, I'm going to do a perception check first. 15?
15.
I'm at the inn, like outside the inn, correct?
You're near it. You're pretty close. It's over the bridge. You see Janfire approaching you from the way you came. He looks a little out of breath.
What is wrong? Were you chasing me this whole time? I have very long legs. You're a halfling. You should have just yelled earlier.
Yes, you're right. That's my dog.
What is its name?
Aperture.
I like that name.
Ah,
This is my cat.
he's a rescue. I didn't name him.
Oh.
Look up. They work together. And there's an owl, white, circling around. That's entity. They come together. They're a piece. They work together with me. When we're looking for stuff. That's Aperture. That's Entity. I'm Janfire. And we are part of the Wild Wander Adventuring Group.
Yes?
Behind you. That's Yalfi. You turn around.
I turn around.
And there's a young lady there, maybe about 16, 17. She's got a big kind of headband on around the top of her head, a strange kind of green outfit with this sort of beige little skirt and these big boots on. She's got a little sword at her side, and she's standing there kind of tapping her foot. She doesn't look like she's out of breath. And on your other side, he says, that's Bamanos. He turns
Are these
to
the two that I didn't meet? The children you spoke of?
And there's
You did call them children.
There's a 16-year-old looking boy, tiefling, standing there, kind of like with his head to one side. He says, all right, I'm Bamanos. Yalfi.
Are you the one that stole my money by chance?
Yeah, I am, yeah, and he told me now I have to come and give it back.
Put my hand out.
The kid puts it in your hand, and Janfire says, listen, if you're going to be joining our little crew, or we're going to be working with you on a thing here, I want you to know something about Heavy.
What's that?
He's been through some shit, okay? Not just with our kind, but your kind too, alright? He doesn't know where he belongs, and he'd do pretty much anything for us, for you, for other people. And I just want you to know, if you get him killed, then you'll have to deal with us, alright?
I respect that in full.
As I take the coin purse back, did he hand it to me, by the way?
Yeah.
I take out 5 gold and 5 gold, and I give the kid 5 gold, and I toss 5 gold with the girl behind me as well.
They instantly pocket it. It's barely even seen. And he says, yeah, right, well, we're not the only ones, okay? There's 4 of us here, but the Wild Wander Adventuring Group, but there's loads of us, like an army in Sandfoot, so you don't want to feck with us, okay?
You're right, I don't.
All
For
right.
multiple reasons.
Okay, listen, I spoke to Heavy.
Yes.
We're going to help you out. Now, if you need us to come up with a plan, we'll come up with a plan. If you want to come up with a plan with your crew, you come up with a plan with your crew. We'll meet you just outside the city gates at dawn in the south gate, all right?
Why don't we make this easy? Come inside with me, the whole lot of you that are here, and meet my crew. We'll talk together as one.
Well, you're going to do it, you're going to talk to him now?
I plan to wake them if they're sleeping, because I plan to also go to John's farm tonight. I must let him know what's going on in his grounds.
Okay, yeah. Give me a persuasion check. The kids behind you, you turn, they're gone. They're gone.
16 for persuasion.
he says, "All right, tell you what, I'll come with you." And he looks around as well. Yalfie, you little shit. The girl appears from behind him. What? Oh. Go tell Heavy. We're gonna have a little meeting. We're gonna arrange some prices, and we're gonna help this young man work out what we're gonna do tomorrow. Okay? And then you get some sleep. All right? I don't want to repeat the last time where you show up half-litted. All right?
Are you telling them to leave?
What? No, I'm telling
Are you
Yalfie
telling them to go back?
No, Bamanos. Bamanos!
Because if they come in at the right time, they're probably due to hearing my good friend Eero telling a tale or sing the song. What time is it? Is it just before 10?
It's got to be like 11:30 right now.
They might still be... would they be drinking?
Oh my god.
Either way, I thought the kids might want to see somebody in celebration. It's been a long day for them just as much as you, I assume. But they're not out of breath, and you seem to be... How old are you, if I may ask?
You're about to learn some shit tonight.
You say that to Janfire.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Me? How old do I look to you?"
Well, considering I don't really know halflings and what you're about, I only know what I've known the very little, which you might be the only 4th or 5th halfling I've ever met. I'll go ahead and say you look like you might be about the same age as those children.
Yeah, you really are young. I'm 49, so I suppose...
49?
Yeah, years young, okay? I got a few left in me, but I'm not a child, all right?
I don't think you're a child. I was just saying you seem like you might be the same age.
That's all it is. Halflings, this is as tall as we grow, okay?
Guess you're half of the size of a human.
He's
I
like,
understand.
He's like super looking up at you as well, right? Because they're fucking small as shit. He's like a few feet high. Right, okay, I tell you what. Bamanos with me. Yalfie, go tell Heavy what's going on and get some fucking sleep for once, okay? No thieving, no fucking teething. Right. And remember, tomorrow we got business. The kids are gone. You just fucking don't know where they are at any point. Bamanos is here somewhere. And then, yeah, he clicks at the dog and the dog runs up next to him. Okay then, introduce me to your crew. Where are they?
Well, follow me. We have a room here. They're either sleeping or they're awake.
All right, well, you gotta wake
I'm
them
not
up.
quite sure what it'll be yet, but let me walk in first when I walk into the room.
Yeah, you head
I think
into...
you covered all your bases. They're either sleeping or they're awake.
They're sleeping.
I love it.
They're either
I love how
sleeping.
new he is.
Joey, you're gonna
Or-
like walk in right as we're
They're awake.
Raging.
yeah.
I walk in, and what do I see, Brad?
You walk in and you see... Give me a perception check, actually, because
All
again,
fucking
it's
drunk, aren't they?
fucking busy. It's fucking busy in here.
Crit 1, 7
Okay.
again. By the way, they have to be 7s in a row, right? They have to be in a row
In a row.
for the lucky thing. Okay. What if we call it good if I get one more,
Nope.
7 that's red? I mean,
Nope. All 7s in a row. I
All
can't remember.
sevens?
I can't remember what
Yeah.
any of your things are, by the way, and I don't know.
I've tried to do mine, but it's...
I remember.
I devastated Whack last week because he actually completed his, but I didn't tell him he did because I thought it was persuasion and not deception, and because I found out after the stream he didn't get it. Sorry.
Oh, no!
So I see nothing.
You walk in. You don't see them. No, you don't. You look around. There's no one on the stage. There's no Rin immediately here. There's a load of commotion going off on one side. You can just see a drunken bunch of men just kind of all jumping around and shouting shit. There's a few people asleep at the bar with their heads down on the bar, but you don't see any of your group. Janfire's looking around too. Hey, you got some fancy digs, huh? These are usually the richest people that
You
get
need
to
a
stay
drink?
in here. Aye.
I want to, because how much were drinks there? I think if I recall, it would have been like 4 silver, right? Or something like that, Brad.
There's nowhere near. It's like a few copper.
It was something, yeah. I
5
want
copper
to flip
for
him a couple copper, and then, John, here. Grab a beer on me.
All right.
One for the small one, too. I flip him another 2 just in case that one's allowed to drink. Or get yourself 2.
I don't know where he is. He's probably here. Don't cut any purses! wherever he is. I don't know the fuck he is.
I'm going to go to the room we have real quick and see if any of them have resided for the night. If I find one, I can find the rest.
Not worth the fucking amount of time that I've spent bringing them up, let me tell you that. Right, I'll go and sit up there next to that sleeping guy, and then you can find your crew, and I'll be up on that one, all right? Nice and high up on that tall stall.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Go to the room.
All right, Pooch, come out. And the dog kind of pads on after him. He sits on a stool next to sleeping Iridir, but you don't know it's Iridir. He orders a drink. Hey! Mead!
Is the dog just like licking the dicks off my face?
The dog is like licking your the bottom of your foot, and it's kind of like in your dream you're like because you don't have a boot, you don't know where it is. The boot's gone, the left boot, at the moment for now, and and
I
yeah.
don't like it. It's just
Hey, stop
right now.
Sit. Hey, can you get me a little bit of like something to the dog to chew on? Yeah, like a bone. Give me that bone there. Yeah. He grabs a bone off a plate that's being sent back to the kitchen. He throws it down, and the dog just lays down at his feet by the bar and starts to chew it. And he begins to drink. He kind of like Janfire just looks at Ira. Fucking. I hope he's better than this guy. Yeah, I bet. I hope it's not you. Hey. Never mind. And he starts drinking his.
He's a curse breaker. He's fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. 19. Where are you going? You going to the room?
I want to go just check the room real quick to see if anybody's in there. If not, I'm going to end up. Well, we'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah. As you're heading up the stairs, or heading to the stairs, Rin comes out.
Wasn't there a room downstairs?
It was one floor up. It's the first floor.
Okay.
The Rin comes down. Rin sees Iridir. Rin sees Drift dancing on a table. Rin. At the end of last week's session, you then see 19 right there. He's on your left as you walk downstairs after reading your books.
Okay. And then I'm drawing on Eero's face but I don't see 19 at all.
You see 19.
Okay.
19, you see Rin.
Okay.
Ren?
Hello.
Wait, is she sitting right now next to sleeping
She's
Eero,
walking-
and then on the other side of him is him?
She steps
She
off
drew
the
on
bottom.
him.
She steps off the bottom step.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she drew on him.
Drew on him,
Oh
and
yeah,
then was walking back.
she's walking back
Yeah.
from
From
drawing
drawing
on
on him.
Eero. Yeah, Janfire.
I was
Okay.
cracking up. Then I went to
Okay.
dance on a table
I remember,
down
yeah,
there.
Went back to dancing. I drew
Yeah.
on his
Yeah.
face.
And some
My
wibbly
mom.
wobbly
It's
and some
like
wibbly.
a minute,
Okay,
2
okay,
minutes
okay.
after.
And some
Okay.
He got drawn on.
when some
Okay.
wibbly
Oh,
wobbly
Rin.
bullshit, and Rin is right there. There you go.
19.
Yes,
There you are.
I need to speak with you. I need to speak with everybody.
Oh,
Are
sure.
Eero and Drift around? Where's Eero, actually? I have someone I need to introduce him to. Could you take me to Eero?
Oh, he might not want to be introduced to anyone right now. But okay, let me get him for you.
No, don't look. Just show me where he's at. I'll follow you. Just let's go.
Oh, he's right there sleeping at the bar.
I look over. I see Jan.
Janfire is just gobsmacked watching this sleeping man who's just been drawn on.
Are they like having like a conversation almost? Like he's like
No,
drunkenly
Eero's-
having a
I feel like
conversation?
half of it's just been like
Eero's
smeared,
just
licking.
asleep, dude. He's just completely asleep on the bar. He rolled really low on a con check, I think, or something. He was
So
fucked,
bad.
dude. But yeah, no, yeah, Jan's just kind of looking at this guy.
We walk over. I'll walk over with Ren, and I look at Ren and go,
Well, this is Jan. You said Eero was somewhere around here. This is Janfire, Rin, Janfire, Rin. Where did you say Eero
Nice to
was?
meet
I'm
you,
not.
Rin.
He's right there.
You can see him now.
I know he's like disguised, but
I turn slow turn to him, look down.
Well, Janfire, this is my sleeping friend Eero you sat next to.
This man here.
Aye.
This man who has drunkenly slept through being drawn on by this woman is your crew.
He's the best.
Not quite what I would have expected.
And
I
you're
guess they did
going-
have a very good day, though. He did help the curse breaker. Where's Drift, by the way? Speaking of which.
In that moment, you just see me. Catch me! Catch me! And I just like run, like the craziest run off
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bar,
yeah, yeah,
and just
yeah.
like jump.
All right, let's see if
Can I
they
catch
catch you. The group.
Them like this.
Rin,
Yeah, I wanna
give
try to
me
catch him. Oh, God.
an athletics check.
Oh God.
If I throw anything.
Oh.
Hey! She catches you like a little baby. Hey!
Oh! 19?
Mhm.
What's up? Where have you been?
How much have they all had to drink, Rin?
A decent amount.
Good.
You're alive.
You're celebrating. It's fantastic. Jan, I'll have you know that this is Drift the Curse Breaker.
Hey,
He's
John,
the-
Drift the Curse Breaker. I watched the
tiefling-
whole thing. Nice to meet you there. He's well interested in Drift. Nice to meet you. The kid that came in, Bamanos, that you haven't seen since outside, is immediately there as well. As if he
The
stepped out.
tiefling kid?
Yeah, the tiefling kid. He's just there straight away like, oh my God. Drift.
Yes, this is Drift.
All right, listen. And he's like right up to you and he's like grabbing you and shaking your hand. Oh, it's an honor to meet you. It's an honor to meet you. Do you know what? I think you might be my brand new hero. That was amazing. I've never seen anyone move like that. You swam and you taken out all these big geezers and all those pompous bastards in armor, and then you took out that fucking thing in the water. And oh my God, you might.
Wait,
be...
I'm a hero.
You're my hero. You're my hero. Wait, this is the crew. This is the crew that we're going to be running with. It's the fucking drift crew. Oh my God. I can't believe it. This is going to be the best day ever.
Wait. Where are we running? We're running to
We're going to
somewhere,
start
or are
We
fighting.
have something to discuss, Drift.
Gang war. We're going to start a fucking gang war with Cursebreaker. No, we're not going to start a gang war. We're going to be helping this man and guarding him and just standing about. We're not going to start anything. Don't go stealing. Don't go starting shit. We're going to start a fucking gang war with Drift the fucking Cursebreaker. Watch your fucking lip, you little shit, okay? Right, first of all, are we really taking this man here? Second of all, Drift the Cursebreaker's in your crew and you didn't mention that.
I did mention it. Apparently you weren't listening.
No, I probably wasn't listening. I was counting the gold that it was
Say,
going to cost. Listen,
hold on a second. Can
right,
we? I don't
so
like being out
you
here
really
talking about
need
this.
our help for this. You've got the.
Can
This
we
guy,
go to the room?
He's like the greatest fighter that I've ever seen. How did you even pull off that, Drift?
I don't think we'll fit into the room 19.
You don't think so?
No, it's.
Maybe
quite
we should
small.
consider going somewhere.
Why don't you make him fight for you instead, if you're worried about losing?
I'll fight anyone. I fight them all. I'll fight them. Who wants some of this?
Or like a whole gang. That's what they told me.
I'll take a gang on. I can do it.
Well, that's what we're gonna do.
I'm
We're
a
doing the
sir
whole-
now. I'm
Ren,
sir.
you don't think we'll all fit in that room?
Whole thing.
I don't think so. I mean, we can try if you'd like.
I think it's a good idea.
And I want to pick Eero up and put him over my shoulder.
Yeah, you can do that. You do it. You don't wake up. You're just completely out of it.
I would like to take him to the room and suggest Drift. I want to whisper in Drift's ear. Drift. It's apparent that these people think highly of you. And I know you've been drinking.
Yeah.
I just need you to stay calm with them and bring them to the room.
Why are you so serious right now? You're so serious. You're being creepy. 19. What?
I look at Drift with the most serious eyes I could ever look at him.
Okay. Yeah, let's go to the room. Let's
You mean
go.
a lot to me, Drift.
Yeah, you mean a lot to me.
You're only saying that because you've been drinking.
And you shouldn't listen to Rin. Rin is a harlot.
I'm walking away with him on my back saying that.
Yeah, you
Walking
walk
towards the
towards
stairs.
the thing. Janfire gets
I
up and
pinch
clicks
his
at the dog.
face. I pinch Eero's face really hard.
Yeah, I wouldn't wake him up. He's really gonna need that long rest.
Oh, I don't want. Yeah, I don't want him to wake up. I just want to leave him mark.
He needs to actually sleep in order to get rid of the poison effect.
He does.
So
None of us know that though.
doesn't seem like I'm doing easygoing DM, but I am. The kid is gone. Every so often you look back and you can't see him, but Drift you do. Every time he's just staring at you like that.
In the corner of her room.
And Janfire clicks at the dog and heads up, and you guys all head up to that very cramped room. That's where we'll take a break
Oh.
for today as you guys go and plan some bullshit. I would like to quickly thank our Patreons for supplying some NPCs today.
Which ones?
I quickly needed an adventuring group to accompany with Heavy. Heavy was my character that was always here. But Janfire, the Halfling Ranger and the leader of the Wild Wanderer adventuring group. Sorry for the Wild Wanderer thing. It was originally his clan. It's now the adventuring group name. Was made by Aperture Entity. Thanks, pal.
Aperture and Entity. Okay.
Bamanos, the 16-year-old rogue that is obsessed with Drift after the tournament, was made by Bamf Kyle. Thanks, pal.
Bamf!
And Yalfi, the 16-year-old rogue, who's the girl with the suspiciously copyright-looking outfit on, was made by Solid Stoat. And Tetsuya Nomura, let's be honest. So, thanks, Solid Stoat. And Tetsuya
Well,
Nomura.
this is cool. Like, these are like, they are in the story, like, heavily.
All three of them accompany Heavy. They are just another adventuring group who you may need and are now going to join you. So let's go to a quick break. Thank you very much for submitting Patreon NPCs for the show. You can do that on our Patreon, by the way. It's patreon.com.
Yes.
/Tablestory.
Yes.
And at one of the tiers, you can submit NPCs to any of our shows if you like, and we try and squeeze them in where and when we can. Appreciate you. I'm really looking forward to how many Jay has to fit in. He has about 20, and I want you to add more if you can. It is so great.
Jay has
it is
so many NPCs
so
in the
great.
backlog.
If you are waiting for ragtags on a Thursday and you've submitted an NPC, Jay has so many, and it's going to be worth the wait. But just keep submitting them because I think it's great.
I've got a lot as well, but they're broken up over several shows. Jay's got them all for ragtags.
Yeah, I need
Cram
it.
them in
I
there.
suddenly needed some NPCs because I kind of changed how I was going to approach this with Heavy and 19 and his thing because of what Tiger told me he kind of wanted to do. So I was like, oh, I'll probably give him a group. It might be better if he has a little group. And I was like, fuck, I need to make some NPCs. And I was like, oh, I'll make all of the gang like a little NPC gang because they all thought their little NPCs were going to come in one. Nah, dude, chat gang.
Love it.
The adventuring group.
This is a fun. The adventuring group's fun.
Yeah.
Like a little.
So yeah, thanks for
Reminds me
submitting
of
those.
Breakfast
Is really
Club.
cool. I think it's really cool too because like it can really like play out into like more of the story and like more things happening in the city and just beyond and stuff like that. I
When
think
Brad needs cannon fodder, he can just slay them mercilessly.
Oh, they're
That's what
about
he's
to
got
die. They're
planned.
about to die. As soon, like before they even get to the
He's like,
room.
this is great. I can make a big scene with them, so the Patreons feel great, and then just fucking kill them, so I
Murder
don't have
'em.
to deal with them no more.
Murder 'em.
It took me 6 NPCs just to get to something that wasn't ragtags.
Yeah, it's so great. Thank you very much for supporting us, and hopefully these are good enough NPCs. If they're not, sucks to be you. They're in it like this anyway. See you after the break. I don't know what I'm talking about. Can I just go to break? Thank you. Thanks very much. See you in a minute.
Huge
Hello,
cock.
everyone.
He had to.
Welcome back to
You
Tablestory.
almost fucking did
Yeah. He does it so much. You do
it.
that
I can
like
hear it because I
every
can
week.
hear him saying it.
I know.
Welcome
dude.
back to.
I did it for 2 years, man. It's so hard not to do.
Do you DM any other shows on here during the week?
No,
Okay.
just this one. I finished Dustvale, which ran simultaneously with Fractured Worlds for a little bit at the end. There was some crossover, and then this. That's it. That's all I do. I'd love to do more, but it would kill me. It would literally kill me, I think, if I tried to do more shows.
Yeah.
I do one-shots and stuff every now and then. It's quite fun to do, but no, we'll see. One day I'll be running a show every bloody day. Every bloody day, let me tell you. Michael Caine, Ruds, D&D, Friday. Instead of we've cancelled our brand new show, Halcyon Unbound. It's been cancelled. Instead, we're running Michael Caine, D&D, where everyone play Michael Caine. I can't even do it today. It's a terrible impression.
I play Michael Caine, even if I wanted to.
Listen, Master Wade, you couldn't do it, even if you tried. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I don't know what is wrong with me. I swear I've been super like ADD lately.
Love it. My favorite kind of Brad.
Wow. Vertigo, that was good shit.
I've been going crazy on my own stream. I don't know what's wrong with me. Welcome back to the show, everybody. The gang, the group, are in the Iron Well Inn. They've all gone up to the bedroom and formulated a plan. Haven't you? What's the plan?
Are we all up there now for sure?
Absolutely. Everyone is cramped. The scene is a giant fucking 8-foot warforged, and then a pretty average looking half elf, a pretty average looking high elf, a pretty small looking tiefling.
I have a 20 in charisma, motherfucker.
I don't understand why that affects your size. You got a big
His
tongue?
spirit size.
Good average looking, man.
Oh, I meant in height and weight. Jesus. That inspiration's
This is
gone.
all that I am as
The
a
inspiration
character,
promise
okay?
is gone. It's gone. The inspiration promise is gone. You've wasted too much time now.
The first thing I want to do is I want to gently and sweetly lay Eero on the bed.
Done. Yeah, he's on the bed, but also everyone else is too, because there's just no room in here. Somewhere in here is a 16-year-old boy, but you don't know where he is.
I love that. It's so
Dude,
weird.
it's literally like what it says on
Wasn't
his
here
character sheet.
before, I swear, okay?
Oh my god.
That's Brad, not Eero.
That was a Brad joke that I didn't make that you made for me, and I appreciate that. You guys.
The first thing I'd like to do,
Yeah.
if it's okay, is after I set him down, I want to look over at Drift and Rin. I have a little bit to tell you both about before we get into anything. And then just for speed's sake, I kind of go through everything that just happened. I go through what happened with the dwarves. I go through to Drift and tell him about Rin getting knocked out. I expressed to Rin if she didn't remember that she got knocked out.
Oh, I remember.
Expressed that, I took her there. I expressed that I met up, I followed a Warforged, and that's why, he's here, XYZ. I explain all of that.
Yeah. What the hell? And then he starts updating his firmware.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I got.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
19.
anyways, now that you all know what's happening, at dawn I'll be fighting Tolchel. Well, hopefully just Tolchel. But, as Rin suspected, earlier on in the week, these people not only don't fight fair, but probably won't fight fair. I challenged him and only him to a fight at dawn. He said the place would be John's farm. So once I'm done with this conversation, I will be leaving to go down south, because I must inform John what's going to be happening on his property. I'm not just going to not tell him. But I'm here with this lad, once again. And I'm here because he followed me back, and he's going to be with us tomorrow, along with another warforged I met by the name of Heavy. They're going to help us to make sure that this stays a fair fight, and that there's no... what would be the word? There's no... someone help me out here. There's no... and you can like see he's like really trying to find like a word for like silly business. Like...
No fucking around.
Shenanigans?
Says
Yes.
Darkfire.
That's it. That there's no fucking around. And I just want to make sure, because I want this fight, and I want it to be understood that if I can have it happen, it's just me and Telchel. The only way I want you to step in is if anybody else gets involved. Anybody.
19.
Hmm?
Has it occurred to you that maybe they might be going to John's farm before dawn?
It has, which is another reason I'm leaving tonight.
Okay.
Wait, so this is all real?
Yes.
Oh man, I need water, food. I'm not I'm not ready for this right now. How much time is dawn till?
Yo, real quick, because we were talking about at the beginning of the episode, I would assume that they're... Never mind. You know what? I'm not going to ask because Brad's just going to talk shit to me if I ask, so I'm just going to move on. I was about to make you food and water, but I think I can't because if I do, I'll probably get yelled at. So anyways, do
So this is real? This is all happening.
It's real.
How much time do we have till dawn?
Well, we have about 7 hours, I would assume.
I need to sleep.
You do. You're going to need all your strength. Because if they stab us in the back and they try to fight us, we'll be fighting, well, in my opinion, half-assed dwarves that don't understand what they're messing with at this point.
How
Also,
long does it take to get to John's farm?
I would assume it'll probably take me 30 or so minutes to get down there.
Maybe we should go down there and then sleep.
Sleep on a farm?
Yeah, just because they may come for John.
What if
Why
we
would
wake
they
up
come
the
for John?
cows?
Oh my god.
What if we wake up the cows? They're probably mooing along trying to sleep. And we don't want to wake them up. That's their place. We got this place. We shouldn't do that.
I'm gonna make some tea.
Hallelujah.
19. You're aware that John has guards.
Yes.
He has a pretty decent sized farm, which he mans with a lot of urchins and people that need work and tries to get people off the streets. That's why he took you in and was just like, hey, yeah, you can work here for a little while, and then you went away. He has guards and people that guard his warehouses and stock and things like that from thieves and things. So yeah,
This would be knowledge.
I just thought, yeah, you'd have some awareness. Janfire,
I kind of regurgitate that to them, by the way.
Janfire says, you know that in the war, I wasn't in the war, but I know about the war. I was there. They used to sneak people in the back of carts. We could all hide in a cart, and then if it all goes south, we can jump out and feck them up. Or do you want us to actually stand around?
I think that you being out in the open could be the best. I don't disagree with your plan, but I also worry that, I don't know, actually. That's a tough decision.
If we all
But if you
show
all
up in
hide-
force, isn't
I
he
think
gonna
we
be...
should hide.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah, undercover.
I just stare at Drift.
Yes, if you want to share my covers, McKinnon, I wouldn't mind.
Is he really part of your group, this guy?
He's not as stupid as he looks right now. It's obvious he's been drinking. What happened with him anyways?
What do you mean?
As much as a Warforged can smirk, I smirk.
What did you do, Rin?
I didn't do anything.
You're lying to me, and I don't even need to roll inside check. Yes, he's a lot smarter than he looks right now. Don't worry. He'll impress you tomorrow, and if he doesn't, you'll probably be best friends. Because we'll see how much you impress me as well.
Okay.
With that being said, Do you think you could get a cot that would fit you, your people, and my people?
Can you get a cart? There's a voice that comes from like one side of the bed as the kid's head appears and just looks over the top of everyone. Yeah, and get a cart. Get a cart quite easily.
Can I make sure he hasn't taken anything of mine, including my books? He's
give me
creeping
a perception or an investigation check.
You little puppy.
17.
17. He, in his hand, has one of the books.
Oh my God!
I hold my hand out.
What?
Give that back.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I wasn't going to nick it. I just was reading it. I don't get many books. All right.
Maybe you should let him read it.
No, it's mine.
Maybe you can read it to him.
Taking my things.
It was a good book. It's about Genie. You ever met Genie?
Genie.
He's a young boy.
I've never
What
met Genie.
do you mean about Genie? Who's Genie?
Book about
I
Genie.
don't know, but if you take my things again, I'm taking your hand.
Fair enough.
Oh.
I'd be careful. Boy, she means that. She's...
Darkfire says, what I tell you, no thieving. That's what they do. They're thieves, okay? I try and stop them. I can't do it. Don't take anything. No money, no books. I weren't taking the book. I was reading the book. It's just a book. What's wrong with the book? Was it a magic book?
Maybe we should just make this simple then. I'm going to head to John's farm now then. You guys figure out a cart. I can meet you there at dawn. It'll be in the big field, I'm almost certain of it. I would assume you'd want to be there before dawn, in the cart, waiting. The thing we need to understand is if they don't show up, well, they'll show up.
Do you want,
But
me
if they don't for some
me to
reason-
come with you? I can hide.
Would you like to come with me? I would be grateful.
Well, I mean, you said it's a trap. I don't know if it's a trap, but it sounds like a trap to me. It sounds like a trap. If he's going over there, what, you're just going to be there first? Why are you going there?
John is my friend. We're also going to be fighting on John's property. He deserves and I respect him enough to let him know prior.
We also want
Okay.
to keep it safe.
We're out. We're out. No more. We're not in on this. I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
He's going to call the fucking military. You're going to go and...
No.
We're going to start a fucking blood war on your property there, Mr. John. You don't think
You really
he's
think he'll call the military if he knows me?
Wouldn't you? Some fucking kid shows up. We're gonna just have a massive, great fucking Barney on your fucking lawn.
I
Well-
think you should be embarrassed. It's some pretty cowardly behavior in front of Drift.
I don't. What? I don't
What's
understand.
happening right now?
I didn't say shit. 19 just looks and then like just stares. I just stares, watch the situation.
I don't understand. Irish accent, by the way, is Darkfire. London accent, I know they're not the best, is the kid. The kid is just gone. Kid isn't there.
Darkfire, I assume you'll be there tomorrow regardless.
Well, not.
The
if
only
you're
thing I
going
plan
be
to tell him
fucking
is
telling
that-
the fucking farmer that we're gonna fucking burn down half his fucking property. No.
No, we're not going to be burning down any of his property.
Oh, we're not. No.
John and me know each other very well.
That well?
He
How
was-
can you know anyone that well? You've been alive for a fucking week.
Well, do you know how you found Heavy?
Yeah, half dead. Didn't
As
know-
you are to
didn't
Heavy
even
as
have a
John
fucking
is to
name.
me.
Right, yeah. He didn't know shit. He barely knows anything now.
Barely do I. But John trusts me, and I trust him. And I also did not set the place. That's another thing I need to bring up. You have to understand that Telchol was the one that said dawn at John's farm. I agreed on the location.
John's farm? If we're going to John's farm, we should bring 19.
Ignore him. Well, then what is your opinion? Do you think we don't tell John? We just show up, and potentially then he calls the military as
No.
we're fighting, and we
No.
all
Yeah,
get
we
arrested?
get in,
He's not
you
going to
fight
kill the
him,
military.
get out.
He's not going to call him. Okay, John's not going to call the military. But what you should do is go there now, because I don't think the Blood Grips are just going to show up at the farm for a duel. I think that was a veiled threat for John's life,
But why? What makes you think this?
because that's what I would do.
But why would they hurt John? He has nothing to do with the situation.
To hurt you, 19.
He does not know anything about me and John.
You didn't tell him about John?
No.
Then
He has
how does
no
he
clue
know
that me and John know each other.
How does he know to go to John's farm then for a duel?
I do not know. He picked a farm, is what I assume.
Sounds like
But
he
I've never
knows.
spoke with him
I
about
mean,
John.
Don't take this the wrong way, 19, but you tell everyone about John. Are
I
you
did not
sure?
tell them about John.
It sounds like he knows it's about John. Otherwise, that's not just.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm scared to meet John.
Why?
I need to sleep.
Maybe you should. Maybe me and you should go. And I look over at the halfling.
Oh, you want me to go and fucking show my face? Hey there, John. I'm gonna fucking burn your fucking house down tomorrow. Just get a good look at this fucking mug, so you know who to fucking report.
I'm going to interrupt you and all of you. You're not trusting me. None of you. And I know you don't know me.
Like a half hour ago, yeah.
Aye. But these are my friends. If you're going to be there tomorrow, as Heavy's asked and said you all will be, which I hope you decide to, you're going to have to understand that John is someone that I trust and that trusts me. I don't know why he would have chosen it, but it's another reason I'm going there, because what if you're right? What if we go there and at dawn, we don't go down, and then he's got John ransom? If I go early, he can at least pre-warn his guards. He can at least let people know. Do you have better examples of what we should do in this circumstance? Anybody. And I mean that. And I'm not just yelling or raising my voice for no reason.
You could
But if you have a better plan, I'd like to know it.
have a good plan
go.
for you. I got one. You ready? You don't.
Yes.
You don't fucking start a fight with the fucking gangs. A big, strong gang in a city. You could just fucking leave. Just go.
It's a little late for that, isn't it?
Just skip town now.
Just skip town.
There's
That is
nothing
an
at
option.
stake. You're just fighting for what? Because he upset you.
He also tried to kill my friend here.
Yeah. Plenty of people gonna try and kill you in your life.
And if somebody tried to kill your friend.
It depends who it is. If it's a fucking
Remember
gang.
earlier when you met me in the alley before we came in here and you said if anything happens to Heavy, I have to deal with you and your entire brigade?
Yeah, because you're leading him into a trap on a fucking farm.
And you're
where-
following.
Well, I have to follow because he wants to help you. I'm not happy about it, but I don't
You
see
think
why
I
you
am?
need to do it. You asked for a
Should have
different
killed
thing.
him in that room when I had the chance.
You
I
asked for a
should've
different thing to do. I say I'm just giving you another option. You can just fucking leave town. Just go back to wherever you fucking all came from before you came here and won a tournament and made everyone know who this fucker's face is.
Speaking of which, Drift, the
Huh?
great sword has been taken.
Uh-oh.
You don't by chance think that your boys, your best new friends, would have any great swords, do you?
You want me to go ask?
Well, it's a little late now, but in the morning,
on.
perhaps before dawn,
I gotta ask everyone out there if they have a great sword for me.
we're just going to go out there and see if any random folk out there have a great sword. that I can use.
Hold on.
No. Drift, I don't think that's a good idea. Here, the tea is ready.
Oh.
And then maybe sleep.
Can I roll a perception check to see if I smell the tea?
Oh no.
Yes, you
Please
can.
don't wake up.
I hope he wakes up.
You smell the tea
That's a
and you
20.
wake up.
Oh my
You
god.
smell the tea and you wake up. There's for sure some of this fucking super tea here.
Well, it looks like
Hello?
I've been having some fun tonight.
You had a blast. Would you like some tea?
Yes, quite. Good evening.
Nice
Good
to
evening,
meet you.
hero.
Can I have some tea?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's got to be
welcome.
some pretty fucking magic tea. You woke him up from.
Wait a
fucking-
minute. I'm very mad at you.
You are?
Am I?
I don't think so. I just gave you tea.
Right. I like tea.
Mm. Enjoy.
Hero,
Yes?
this is my new friend, Or partial friend, this halfling here. You should introduce yourself.
What part?
All of him. You should introduce yourself to all of him.
Nice to meet you. The name's Jan Fire. I'm gonna be
Hello?
helping you start a fucking gang war and get us all killed tomorrow morning.
Hopefully it's not too early.
Yeah, pretty early. It's about as early as it gets.
At dawn, hero.
Okay, well, if that's the case, I think we need to get some rest.
Aye.
Nineteen, it's up to you if you're going to go early or not.
What's happening?
Go to sleep, little one. We have much to discuss in the morning. Rin can fill you in.
I can discuss many things.
Oh, yes? Then do me a favor, would you? I would like you to repeat the history of Rose Garden.
I don't know the history of Rosegard.
But you said you did the other day.
Did I? I can make it up.
Yes, you
I'm
could.
good at making things up.
You should go to sleep. And I want to softly, kind of like with his tea in hand, kind of like you would like a little kid, like a little puppy, trying to get him to like fall backwards, you know, and they just go, "Mwah." I just want to kind of just see if it falls over.
Okay. Did I finish my tea?
It's up to you. Did you finish your tea?
If I still have tea left, I'm gonna probably not go back to sleep because the tea is so important to me. I'm just really getting. What are you doing? Why are you pushing my chest?
What?
Don't worry about it. Jan, would you mind coming with me on a walk? Just a walk.
Okay. Sure.
I want to let these people sleep, because if this does happen in the morning,
Yeah, I don't
they're
need
going
sleep.
to need this.
No, I was gonna stay up all night too. All right. Well, nice to meet you all. I'll see you in the morning as we go over the fucking
Pleasure.
top and get our fucking heads cut off. Okay. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Do you know the Drifter Cursebreaker?
I do, and he is possibly the only person I trust to take into a fucking war tomorrow. So that's gonna be good that we got you. You should sleep, Drift.
Ah.
All right, rest up. Rest up. Bamanos, give back everything that you've taken now.
Yes, please.
Like there's a
Rin,
jingle of some coins.
Oh,
From
do you have a
from
spare
under
book
the bed.
with the boy? I'll pay for it.
what? Is it my money, Brad?
There's just coins that you hear them being placed on the ground under the bed.
Drift.
Yeah.
Drift.
Yeah.
Drift.
Stop yelling at me.
Drift.
What?
Remember the owl?
No.
Yeah, you don't touch my owl, okay?
You have an owl?
Points at the window and there's an owl
Did
outside
you buy
staring
the
in.
one?
Hmm.
Did you buy the same one? No, that's different. That's
That's
different.
my owl. His name's Entity. Okay, rescue owl. I didn't name him.
No, the man had an owl near the festival.
Oh, okay.
I want
Bye.
an owl.
Walks out.
Do you really want it?
I closed the door after everyone's gone.
Do you really want the owl?
You just hear from beyond the
Do
door.
you really want the owl? Just having. Hey,
Oh,
do you
yes, I want the owl. You could tell the future.
Well, like, did you really want it?
How about we talk about the owl tomorrow? After.
When we buy the owl, we'll talk about the owl.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
great. After we fight at John's farm, we'll go get an owl.
I'm so tired of fighting.
I know.
That's like. Yeah.
There's
Just
there's about 500 gold coins that are just under the bed
Oh my god.
as well.
Oh,
Rin.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Rin, you
I
probably
will,
noticed them.
collect those. Yeah, I'll collect those and.
Brad.
He stole 500 from me.
He
Yeah.
was about to. They're
His
They're back.
hero.
dude. Fuck yeah.
Klepto,
Kid's
man.
got to eat, man. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Brad,
Yeah.
So.
Fuck.
after they're done, which I don't want to interrupt them, but
Yeah.
after they're done, when I leave the inn with him, I want to start the conversation as soon as we leave the inn.
Okay. I'll just tuck Eero and drift in, and then I'll go to sleep.
Yeah. I mean,
Big
Janfire heads back down into
You're
the inn, and he's like, "Oh, okay. So what?"
Walk with me.
Would you?
Where are you
And
going?
I want to start walking in the direction of John's farm. in
Okay,
general.
I'm going back to where we're staying, but that's kind of in this direction.
Oh, good. You've known Heavy for a while, right?
I've known him all his life.
All his real life. Do you remember the first time he got mad? Do you remember it? The first time he got really angry. I don't just mean mad, but out of control almost. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
I do.
What happened?
Me and him took a bad job. Job went wrong. We lost somebody.
happened?
We used to have a priest that would follow us around. And she was a good friend of ours. She was a little brash sometimes. And we took a bad job. We got in over our heads and we lost her. And then we had to leave her behind, and she came back, and he didn't know what was going on, and she got into the town that we were staying in, and she made things worse, and Heavy got mad at me, and that's probably the first time I've seen him mad, and I think it'll be the last time I ever want to see him quite that mad. He lifts up his leathers, and there's a big long scar that runs up his side. Really gnarly looking thing. He says he blames me not just for our loss, but the fact that I didn't tell him anything about the fact that some people can come back and they don't come back right. And then that when she came back, she killed a lot of people in that town. And that's on me. And he put that on me, and he got angry with me. It brought us closer in the end, but yeah.
I understand.
And that's why I don't like taking shitty jobs that get people killed.
I understand what you're saying.
From people that have only been around for a month.
It's true. And I understand your hesitation. I do. More than I would have even a day ago. As you know, I'm still learning just like Heavy was learning. It's very overwhelming. I'd like to tell you how this all started. When we got into the city, we met with another forge master. Forge Smasher. Are you familiar with him by chance?
Never heard of him.
He was a smith in more of the middle section of the city. While we had come back, I had asked him to make me a few things. I'd asked him to work on a few things for me, and Drift had asked him to make him a statue. He asked me to do him a favor. That favor was that he would make me the armor for free if I could get a lady's name in marriage to him. All I needed to ask this lady was to marry him. I agreed. As you can assume, he said, I will make you this armor for free if you just ask this woman to marry me. And if she says yes, I will do it. If she says no, I will give you a discount. So, what's the harm in it, right? What's the harm in finding this woman and asking her? Am I right?
Sure. Easy money.
Easy money. Well, your words are about to be said again. Me and my companions traveled to the northern part of town, central northern. We found a bar. We were told by this people, random people we met, about this woman potentially being at the bar. This is where I first met Telcho. When I met him, as I'm sure you can understand, I didn't know him. I had no clue who he was. I had no thoughts whether he was bad or good. We sat down and we discussed. As we were discussing, my friend Rin basically pulled me to the side and expressed that she felt uncomfortable. And these people seemed terrible, ruthless, pretty much terrible people. I ignored that. I ignored it because I knew no better. I ignored it because I feel like it's smart for me to go with my own intuitions and continue to learn on my own accord. As the day progressed, and I sat down there buying Telchol and his friends drinks, I explained what I was on my way to do, because Telchol apparently was to wed also this woman, who was this Fort Smasher's apparent something. They didn't like each other, apparently, I've come to find out. While all this was happening, Telchol offered me 200 gold to ask him the question that I was supposed to ask her. Remember when you said easy money?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I looked at it as a situation. I'm with my friends. We have a long journey ahead of us, which I'd love to tell you about. And he kind of shakes his wrist where that thing's at. That'll probably have to be for another night, considering. I took the gold, and I told him. I said, well, Fort Smasher wants to ask for her hand in marriage, so I'm here to ask for that. Do you think you could pass that along? He said, yes. We continued to drink. They handed me the money. I bought them a few more drinks, and eventually me and my friends went on our way. While we went on our way, we went back here to the inn that's behind us, and we went to sleep. The next day, a lot happened. As I ran into my friend Eero you met back there, who is a lot more competent than he seems. Him and Drifthead let me know that Fort Smasher and their crew had been murdered. I thought nothing of it. I thought that this doesn't have anything to do with us. Has nothing to do with me. Has nothing to do with my group. It's as simple as me asking a question, getting the money we needed to help us on our way, and continuing forth, right? Is that what you would think if you were in the situation?
No, that is not what I would think.
Yes, I assume that what you think is what I think now.
Yeah, that I'd just given the fucking Bandit King all the information he needs on his lead competitor. And then he went and strung him up.
You'd be correct. I tell you this, not only because I think you deserve to know because you're getting potentially involved in it, but I also want you to understand that as much as I'm angry because he tried to kill my friend Rin, and as much as I'm angry that he betrayed me, has nothing to do with me or Rin. This has to do with the fact that he killed a very kind and innocent man. Men, not just man. He did it because of me. And I realize that now. I realize that this is on me. I realize the situation would have never happened if I would have just kept my mouth shut. I owe a dead man a debt. And that debt will be Tetzel's head. If you choose to come in the morning, which I hope you do, I must let you know. I'm there for the same reason that you've probably been there for Heavy before. A man died because of me, and that realization came to me as I was betrayed, which did not help my anger any. I need to do this. It isn't about being smart. It's not about being stupid. It's about honoring a dead man who didn't deserve to die, especially by the hands of crooks and thieves, and a crook and a thief that I am certain that I can take down, if he fights me. I ask you to be there, but only so you can witness it, and be there to make sure it stays safe. And if you cannot, I want you to express to Heavy, don't come. My friends will be there with me. The great Drift the Curse Breaker will be there with me. And 2 people outside of those men that I've grown to be able to call my friends, as you call Heavy, will be there with me. And if I die, then I get what I deserve for having a man killed out of nothing.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oof.
12.
He listens to your story and he gets to a point where he stops and he says, I'm going this way. Sounds to me that you're learning a few things all at once. But it also sounds to me like you're just gonna get your friends hurt. Caught up in a maelstrom of shit. And it was all sparked by your own greed. That's what it sounds like to me. And you're trying to drag my friends into your maelstrom of shit that was sparked by this greed of yours. That's some nice fine upgrades you've got. Is it not? You got a nice bag of 200 gold. I still say leave town. But there's not much I'm going to be able to do to stop Heavy from helping you out. He gets in over his head. And I think it might just be a thing that your kind do. Don't know why.
Maybe so. But I'm not wrong. And neither are you. Neither of us are wrong. I've made mistakes. I'm apparently in over my head. And you're right. I'm bringing my friends into a position that could get them killed. I'm bringing your friends into a position that could get you killed. If nobody came with me tomorrow, I would still go. The dead man's hands on my conscience. Running now is not the correct thing to do. Know that. Whether anybody comes with me or not.
Well, I suppose we'll have to see in the morning.
Suppose you're right.
But know this. If you get one of your friends killed, it's going to be a lot heavier on your conscience than a stranger who was already caught up in something. That's the way I see it.
You bring up a good point. I don't disregard it. And I haven't made a final decision, but I've made a pretty solid decision that I must do this. I still must talk to John. He will have the final decision.
He nods to next to you, and the boy is there, looking up at you. He says,
Where's my cat?
wherever you want. It's never far away.
Not his hands, is it? Little shit's hands?
No.
Okay.
He looks up at you, and then looks to Janfire, and he says, do you want him to go with you? He doesn't sleep. He doesn't
The boy?
ever get seen. Ever.
You want to come with me, boy?
Well, by the sounds of it, we're all gonna die tomorrow anyway. Okay. Stick with him, and we'll see you in the morning, I suppose. Bamanos, if anything changes, you let him know, and then he'll come and find us. Good night, 19.
Good night.
And he heads away. His head down. He heads west, because I assume you're heading kind of south on this
I'm heading
map.
to John's farm.
You turn back around, the kid is gone. And head down to John's farm.
Correct.
Oh, finally! Not like in the sense of today's episode, just I'm so curious.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not there
It's
though.
like Disneyland.
It's-
There's just stuff and fairies and things
The
everywhere.
magical land
John's
of
farm.
John's farm.
Fireworks.
Fairies that like live outside by the
Yeah.
You head
Singing a song. We are living John's farm. John's farm. John's farm.
towards John's farm. Tiger, roll me a D20.
Oh,
20?
man, that was
Yeah,
intense.
yeah.
3.
For the first time, it starts to rain.
Oh God.
You head through the city south. You generally know your way to John's farm because you've been there before. So I'll make you roll anything for that. You head towards the south gate, which is over here. And it takes you a little while. Nighttime is a little easier to move around the city because of the lack of people who are asleep. And you head out of this gate. There's a couple of guards that kind of eye you up as you leave, but they don't approach you or say anything. The gates remain open. It's not wartime. And you head out along this kind of dirt road, and there's a pretty wide dirt path. It's almost exactly the same as when you were coming into the city. There was an expanse of slums kind of outside of the walls. As you head outside the walls, you notice that there are a lot of little tents and shacks and little put together kind of houses, like upturned carts and things that people are just sleeping under. There's like a slum that spreads out of the walls, particularly on the left as you walk out of the gates over here, and a forest that spreads all the way out as far as the eye can see, pretty much to the south east. And you can walk along the road, and it's a little walk south. Even though it's not on this map, there is a little path that you can head past this tower that takes you up to what is essentially John's farm. John's farm is huge; it's enormous. There's a lot of stuff here, and walking along it, you see a couple of farmhands. They're just tending to the last bits. They're just doing little things, moving about, but for the most part it's very empty. You know that by day this is super fucking busy all the fucking time. Just various people working various fields. For the most part, John's farm, if memory serves, does a little bit of everything. Grain, animals, so there are silos, there are great big wheat fields and things like that you pass, and you head towards the central area. So John has a little kind of mini village of his own at the center of his farm. It's like a set of maybe 10 houses where a couple of people live. There's John who lives by himself in the center, and various people that work on the farm. There's a couple of families that have just lived and worked with John for so long that they've settled out here. As you approach the area that you know to be John's house, the largest of the houses, not so huge, it's relatively modest, sits out in the center of all of these fields. The outlook's the thing. There's a porch that you can step up to. You knocking on the door?
Question before I knock on the door. Because I'd lived there for a while, is there anything I would know that would be a way to get John's attention without knocking on the door that wouldn't like disturb the rest of the family?
Yeah, there's probably a bunch of people in here. Not only do a lot of these sort of kids that work on the farm with him and all the urchins that he takes in work here and live here, but there's a couple of people. You know that he doesn't really have any actual family, but yeah, there'd be a lot of people in here. You could...
I just wonder if there'd be like a way to get his attention without bothering everybody to be in there. Because, you know, like they knew each other for a while. I mean, not a while, but long enough, you know, like he took him in. So there might be a way maybe that's, you know, maybe John had a way for us to get a hold of them without having to bother everybody else in the house. Just kind of thought process.
I feel like he probably doesn't, but you probably know which room is his if you wanted to attempt to wake him.
It's late enough now that he'd probably be sleeping, right?
Looking inside, you don't see any light.
I'm going to go to his window.
And
I'm going to tap subtly.
You're going to tap?
I think tapping would be the best choice because my big ass will break the window if I knock. I already know that. You'll be like, roll an athletics check.
Well,
shatter the window.
His room is on the first floor, so you're going to have to climb up the side of the house anyway. There is a little thing though that you could stand on.
I'm just gonna knock on the door.
The front door?
Yep.
Yeah. Dum dum dum. No response.
Going to knock again.
Dum dum dum. No response.
Knocks one more time before he decides what to do.
You're knocking
Third
really hard?
Harder than last time, but not that much harder.
Bum bum bum. The kid is next to you. And he says, shouldn't someone wake up?
We
you
would
want me
assume
to-
as much.
I can climb up and have a look in a window.
Would you do that?
Yeah, easy. And he skitters off around the side of the building. A moment passes. Another moment passes. You hear some footfalls next to you, and the kid says, "Weirdest thing. Window's already broken."
Is it?
Is that normal?
No. Did you see anybody in there?
No. I didn't go in.
Could you see anything?
You want me to go in?
How quiet are you?
No one's ever seen me before.
Can you check the house?
Yeah?
Have at it then. Don't steal anything, please.
Alright, I weren't gonna. He runs off around the side. You hear a couple of footfalls and then the rustle of something and then... Maybe a minute passes. Then there's a... As a latch opens and the door opens up in front of you. And in front of you, Bemenos, the kid, he looks a little pale. His eyes are quite wide. He, I don't think you're gonna like this, but
What do you mean I'm not going to like this?
well, he opens the door wide. You can see in a little bit, not much light, just by the moonlight. The immediate area is a kind of open room with some stairs that lead up to the upper layers. There's 3 bodies, each one face down in a pool of their own blood. 2 kids, maybe 15, an older looking woman, couple of daggers. The kid says, climbed in through the window up there. There was a couple of people in the bed and I don't think... what happened?
Aside, child.
Like, I know we were sort of talking about a turf
A
war,
second,
but
child.
I walk in and I go straight to where John's room would be.
yeah, you head up the stairs, turn right, first door, open the door. A decent sized bed, a room. There's a little dresser on one side that had all of John's wife's things in. You know she's not been around for a while. There's a smashed window. The body of John is laying on the bed. He's an older kind of guy, like 64 was his exact age. He's wearing just some long johns and a crap tunic. There's a knife in the center of his chest and a little note pinned to the side of the dagger.
19 reaches down and picks up John's body. comes outside into the rain and takes the note off before he goes into the rain. Reads the note as he gets out to the front door with John's body still in his arms. What's the note say?
The note says, I lost the part of the thing. The note says, you can never win.
That's all it says. He takes the note where the cat kind of sleeps, and he rolls it up. He puts it in his little area where the cat's at. And he walks to a tree where he met John for the very first time when John took him on. Looks for the boy. Is the boy anywhere around?
Yeah, he's kind of just following you around. He's not hiding or doing anything dumb. He's just very pale looking. His eyes are wide.
Boy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to stay within eyes distance from me. But follow me, if you would. Grab that torch right there, too, and light it, would you?
Yeah. He grabs it. He's a little shell shocked, but he lights it and holds it up and walks out with you.
I'm going to walk. There's a huge weeping willow tree where I had one of my first conversations with John. I'm going to walk there with John's body, and then when I get there, I'm going to place him propped up right against the tree. And then behind that tree is that field, pretty good sized field, I would assume. A field that I would assume we're going to fight in. I plop John up while the rain's coming down on both of us. And I prop him up so he's looking at the field. And I sit down beside his body. I would say about 10 minutes goes by with no words. And then he just starts talking.
I'm not quite sure how you got involved in this. You had such a nice farm, John. You always did. A lot of people are going to be upset tomorrow. A lot of people are going to be very upset.
Pulls out the note.
I can't win. I can't win. He's right. I can't win. But we can. We can win. It was just meant to be Telchel tomorrow. That's not a chance anymore. I'm going to kill every last one of those dwarves. They're all dead. And if the crew... Boy! The crew you had is as good as you say and everybody says they are. You're going to go need to tell them to be prepared. All of them. And be ready to fight.
What?
If they plan to fight.
I don't know about this.
Neither do I.
Kind of looks at John's body again. Looks back at the note. Looks at the kid.
I need you to go back and tell them what you've seen here. And on your way out, will you do me one last favor before you head back, since you don't really sleep?
Yeah.
You saw the guards, correct?
Yeah.
As you walked in? Those are guards for John's farm.
Oh. Right. You want me to tell him?
No, not yet. I'll do that. Don't let them see you.
Oh,
Or they'll
yeah.
blame you for this.
Right. No one sees me anyway.
Leave me now, boy.
He
I need a moment of peace with this man.
turns around and runs off into the darkness in the rain. Ahead of you, though, there are several other houses, and a light comes on in one of them. A figure kind of appears at the window and starts like looking out. You can see a shadowy figure kind of draw a drape and look out into the darkness over towards where you are by this tree.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I ever got you involved in this. And I'm not even quite sure how.
Looks up at the light for a minute, across the way, looks back down at the paper, shoves the paper back in his chest, stands up, leans on the tree. First time you'd ever see a Warforged start fucking bawling like a baby.
Yeah, another light comes on in that other house. It's not too far away. It's far enough that you judge they don't see anything very clearly in this darkness over towards John's, but you can see some lights coming on, some people moving around.
They've just changed the game, John. I never thought I'd ever have to see you like this. And your family? The only one you ever knew? Them as well?
He starts getting louder. It's very obvious now that he's out there probably.
Another light comes on in one of the other buildings.
I'm not gonna let you die in vain. Not to these cutthroats. And neither will any of your people. And I know that. I know it because I was one of them. And all of you that are sleeping should wake. Because your only family and your only father has been murdered by an evil man. And we mourn him tonight until dawn.
I want to look and see if there's anybody that would be walking over.
Yeah, I think like the door opens and you see two figures, like a couple of young men, just in like their sleeping clothes, one with like a sword in his hand. Oi! Who goes there?
Please, and please hurry.
You see a couple people run out. There's a woman that runs out as well, and they run across the field towards you. As soon as they get near you, the woman screams. The boys kind of bring their swords down to you. Oi!
You don't have to bring your swords to me. I did not do this, but I know who did.
Who are you?
My name is 19, and I remember you.
No,
You were very small.
You ain't 19.
I am.
You look completely different.
I'm 19.
Yeah, prove it.
I want to rip the jaw piece off of my jaw that was forged on.
You
That
can
allowed,
do
Brad?
that. I'll allow it.
I rip it off and I throw it to the ground and I look at both of them.
It is me.
Oh, well, John did say he never saw one with amber eyes before. Yeah. So, what happened? Where are they? Where's the guards? Get the fucking guards.
You should get John's guards. It's true.
You see, like, one of them runs off. Another light comes on in one of the other things. The woman's crying behind you.
I need you to rally everybody from John's farm now, if you could. I can explain exactly what happened.
It looks like he's been stabbed.
By a man named Telcho Blood Grip.
Fucking blood grips. The fuck the blood grips want with us?
I'll explain everything to you.
All right. I'll go and get everyone up. He heads towards the house that
Don't
John's from.
go in the house. I will go in there and I will retrieve the rest.
The rest?
He puts his head down.
What the fuck happened?
Get everyone. I'm going to get the rest from the house. And you, get a shovel. I have holes to dig before I sleep.
Everyone sets to their business. 19 heads back in towards the house. That's where we end our session today. Real bummer. But unfortunately, you are dealing with some of the worst fucking people in this town. And you have your chance to have some own back next week if they show up. If it goes to plan.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Mm-mm.
Well,
You better hope he shows up.
I think he was literally just threatening you about John, and he's laughing back wherever he is.
also, I'm 90% sure you told him about John. I'm like 99% sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't think. I'm pretty sure I never brought it up to him. I don't think.
You
I'm
did.
pretty sure you did.
I remember when they were forging you. You were like, "Let me tell you about." Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I think there's a lot they know about you.
Yeah.
Either way.
Fuck.
Doesn't matter now.
That's so shit. All my I was like a kid, like getting ready for Disneyland, excited to go see John's farm, and like not excited character-wise, but me as a outside of it was very excited to see it all, and now it's just shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
I feel badly too, because had I not been knocked out, I feel like Rin would have been immediately understood what had happened, and then went to go to John's farm. But
the gangs in this town are fucking evil, and the consequences of all this shit are now showing themselves, unfortunately for 19, who doesn't understand everything and waded into something with good intentions, or without the foresight to work out who these people were. And
it's just crazy where it's gone.
Yeah.
Like what it started as a simple little money cash grab, like hey,
fucking
into this, into losing his
little pebble in the water,
favorite person, his everything, his father, really.
I mean, I went around the houses whether I was like, would they do this? And I was like, they fucking would. There's no fucking way these bastards wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, let's just fucking, this is what they do.
it's what they did to what's his name.
This is what they do. This is what this gang is. So, anyway, that brings us to the end of this session. Not all sparkles and happy fun time fucking fucking
zippity do another tournament or something.
No, this town is fucking poison, and the longer you stay here, the worse that poison fucking stings, dude. Unfortunately. Anyway, we will continue next week. Even more reason to gain justice for John. Even more bodies, souls on 19's conscience. How will it affect 19? Find out next time.
Yep.
Next Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Let's do a round of shout outs. Let's start with the man of the 3 hours, 19, Mr. Tiger Rider.
Hell yeah.
It's a very 19 episode. I think we were all expecting it. Welcome back. Unfortunately, yeah.
I feel like you were secretly pulling at my real life emotions, Brad.
No, it wasn't. This happened this happened many weeks ago.
Not in a bad way by any means.
I know. This happened many weeks ago when you told this dude.
It's pretty crazy.
Who John was.
It's pretty
like,
nuts.
this dude has just been writing down every fucking thing about you. And the moment you were like, no, I'm not joining you, he was like, fuck it, I'm taking that fucking metal thing off his wrist. If he, he's just gonna fucking fuck this dude over. He went and killed the fucking Goliath. This is what they do. Anyway. Where can people
I'm
find
Tiger
you?
Rider. I play 19.
Totally.
Thanks for watching, because that episode had a lot of me talking and not a lot of the other people talking, which I don't actually frankly like. I like it when we all get to. So thanks everybody for putting up with me for a lot of this episode, and thanks Brad for doing it. And thanks everybody for watching this, because I was not here last Tuesday, and I appreciate everybody coming out to be with us as a community and as Tablestory and to watch our show. And if you like who I am, not just as a role player, but like as an entertainer and as someone that hopefully has give you some good emotions, even if they were sad today. I stream full-time Wednesday through Sunday at about 3 p.m. PST at twitch.tv/Tiger Rider. My name is also Andrew, and it's a pleasure to have all of you guys watching. If you like it, just come out and hang out with us again next week. Appreciate it.
PB,
Oh, okay.
are you there? Oh, sorry, I wasn't even looking at the screen.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I have a cat.
PB and the cat.
Hello. Hi, I'm Pumpkinberry. This is Atlas. You can find us at twitch.tv/Pumpkinberry.
Sell out.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wow.
And
Atlas.
Twitter at the same handle. And
Looks
I
like he
also
runs way better than
do
the
things
game.
here.
That was good. That was good.
But yeah, I also hang out here. Friday. Oh wait, is that being streamed, Whack, before I shout it out?
Yeah.
0? Okay, yeah, Friday, episode 0 of a new show, which I am in. You should be there. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Cool.
That's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Pumpkinberry.
That was cool.
That was cool.
Pumpkinberry.
That was cool, Pumpkinberry. John
both of
Sandman.
Hey, what's up? I'm John. That was great. And the opposite of what Tiger said, I enjoy episodes that are just one person or two people just diving into their character and roleplay it. And I want more of that. Like,
I mean, I like it too. I just,
yeah, when it happened, I know when it's on you, it's like I mean, when I was doing the tournaments, it was like, God, it's just me and Eero just fighting.
It was amazing.
But it's still like, I think we all like this show enough as like a fan as well, just to
Yeah.
watch. I'm cool. Like, I'm cool with just sitting
Like
there.
I made a bucket of popcorn.
I never planned for it to be like one person, but sometimes it just goes that way.
Sometimes it is, man.
I thought this was gonna come after the fucking duel. I thought you'd do the duel and then go in, you know? And then you'd all be there and you'd all be doing it as a thing, which was the original thing. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I
Can I
interrupted
ask
you.
one thing for my shout out portion?
Yeah.
Brad, the number you when he rolled 1 through 20, was that how many people were dead?
His D20.
Yeah.
Family, he hits that 20.
No. That was
Okay.
That was for whether he got there in time to
cool.
to see them. To see one leaving.
Oh my God! I'm so glad I asked that. Thanks guys
was
for
a-
watching.
it
Love
was-
you very much.
It was sort of a random encounter roll, is what it was.
Should we be glad that we should be glad that he didn't, but also, oh my God, that's too much
I'm very
information.
glad that I didn't, because that wouldn't have went well for me. Because he would have went right after him.
Yeah, no,
100.
it would have been basically there was a potential for like a premature duel, essentially.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
And that was essentially what it was. But it wasn't just him. It would have been way worse probably to find them, because you didn't have much backup. You had the kid.
That poor kid.
Which was why I was like, do you want the kid to go with you? Because I'm like, if he fucking rolls the fucking 20 and shows up mid-act and they're all there, I was like, oh man, he's fucking at least need the... In my head, and this is the DM part of my brain, I'm like, he needs the kid to run back to town and magically get them all there as fast as, and just hold off for everyone to show up. I was like, I don't know, he's He's probably dead as well. That was my approach. So I didn't expect it to go this way. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't expect you to go and tell John first, because it seems inane. Because John probably would call the military, because he wouldn't want people fighting on his fucking thing with all these kids around and shit, which was what I was thinking originally. Anyway, that was my original plan for the thing, but whatever. It didn't happen that way. You took your time.
Welcome to D&D, baby.
Welcome to D&D. Too many fucking plates spinning
Yep.
as a DM sometimes. Last but not least, Wax Steven with a wonderful announcement, even though we announced it last week. But just to make sure you go and
Reminder.
A reminder.
Hey everybody, I'm Wax Steven, normally the DM or GM of Doom. Thank you for watching with us tonight. It's much appreciated. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, chat, and all the wonderful support you give us. Thank you for the fan art. Thank you for all the wonderful things, messages, etc. Thank you so much. Much love to you. Thank you. If you guys want to see some of the stuff I do, I'm on this channel all the time. I do so many friggin' things. It's crazy. I'm going to next be here on this channel for the premiere of Halcyon Unbound this Friday. We're going to be doing episode 0 of a new Masks show, it's going to be a whole new kind of setting and experience. It's going to be a very different feel, I think, from Identity Crisis. So if you want to come join a new show and start from the beginning and participate and make sure that you can become involved, then do that, because we'll probably be taking suggestions from chat and stuff all through the episode.
Me especially. I have some ideas, but I want chat input.
Yeah, so make sure that you're there this Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And on Saturday, we've got Crash City.